Okay, welcome everybody to episode 31 of the RF Generation Collectorcast. Boy, it's just you and me, Bill.
Oh, I thought Krabby was just very quiet.
No, he's decided to ditch us, I think.
Oh, man. What is he, in another country or something?
It's almost like a different time zone, too. No, Krabby's got work duties and family in this weekend, so he's not going to be recording with us, but Bill and I will try to keep you all entertained. I think we can manage that, at least hopefully, right?
We'll do our level best.
Well, we always want to start off really quick, just a few different places you can find us, so we'll rattle through these. Bill, where can people get us?
Well, since Krabby's back on target with posting YouTube videos of NES games that he's completing, why don't we start with YouTube?
Absolutely, yep. You can find the good old Crabmaster over there if you want to watch. I'm trying to think of what that last one that he just did, because I watched it, but man, he goes through some pretty tough games.
Yeah, I mean, like, what kind of gets me about his videos sometimes is he makes the game look easy, yeah. And then I get the game, and then I'm like, oh, it was just him. And I think the example I've given recently is I picked up Darkman.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even that Darkman's like overly difficult. It's just like the timing and the way that the jumping works, based on how fast you're moving, and if you're still at one point, and if you get hit, like it's a lot to, like, you know, figure out. But like you watch him play it, and it's like, oh, it just looks like a platformer. But nope, it takes a while, and he makes them look easy.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to take on some of the broken games I think are a little bit more broken.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, but you know. Well, you know, we can also find us on iTunes, right? That's probably, I'm going to guess, where a lot of people find us.
Yeah, iTunes, they get reviews there. We appreciate those.
Absolutely. Podomatic, you get the app.
Oh, need
right?
that Podomatic. Yeah, got to get that Podomatic action.
Yeah, or Stitcher, if you prefer that app, you can do that one too.
Yep, Stitcher, and what do we got? rfgeneration.com.
And collectorcast.com, right?
That is the yin to my yang.
And the magic of the RSS feeds for whatever other crazy listening device you've got, right?
Right. So if you're just looking for, you know, a lot of apps just use the RSS feed. So collectorcast.com has the RSS embedded.
Yeah, and I did, you know, I was curious. I did a little search not too long ago for Collectorcast to see where it was turning up, like in results.
Right.
We're obviously on a lot of other sites besides the ones we rattle out. So people have submitted our feed, or somebody's grabbed our feed somewhere. So that's good to know, right?
Yeah, it's cool. I do just, you know, I throw Collectorcast into like a Google search, and the first thing that comes up is the Podomatic page.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, followed closely by our Twitter feed and iTunes and Facebook. So yeah, I have a feeling that's kind of where most people are pulling the show down from, but you got options. So if you want to, check us out on the Pickle, podcast Pickle cannot be neglected.
It's still there.
As well as, the Microsoft, Windows Phone 8 Zune Marketplace that might not be called that anymore.
Something like that, yeah. If you have some sort of Windows 8 device, and maybe Windows 10 at some point, right? Is that coming soon?
Oh, I'll definitely be upgrading. Yeah, it's this year, this fall or winter. I don't know if they've said when, but got my free upgrade, just like everyone else, from 7 on. So I'm going to take advantage and see if they're going in a good direction.
Now, is it they're just like a limited time free upgrade window? Is that the deal?
Yeah, the thing I read from them was that everyone who had, and they've been clarifying ever since, because it made it sound like even if you have a pirated copy, they'll let you do it. And then someone had to say, hey, is that true? And they clarified, and we're like, yeah, it's true. We just really want everyone using Windows 10, which, you know,
really?
good for them. But yeah, that's the last thing I read from them is they said, like, yeah, there's not going to be like, you know, if we can't verify your CD key, we're still going to let you upgrade.
So are they dumping activation?
That I don't know, but I did read that it is limited to 1 year. And the limitation that I know that they are not letting you do is businesses cannot do it.
Oh, well, that makes sense, right?
Right. So if you have like volume licensing or something like that, or, you know, you've purchased through like, you know, OEMs or whatever, you know, for your business, that method I don't think is supported. But everything from what I read, 7 and on can upgrade to 10 for free within the first year of release.
Well, that's kind of cool. I think I've got a Windows 7 virtual machine sitting around, so I'll have to make sure I upgrade that. when I can. So thanks for listening to the Windows podcast.
Yeah, was this this is what we're talking about, right? I mean, it's my father-in-law is a huge Microsoft fan, and he visited over the holidays, and I took him to our Microsoft store in the Danbury Mall in Connecticut.
Yeah,
they don't have one down where he lives, and he really just likes. He likes the cut of their jib. He likes what they do. I know he's listening to this. So we're in the Microsoft store, and he just wanted to tell them. He's like, hey, I just want to tell you guys, I think you're great. I like your stuff. I think people give you a lot of unnecessary crap, but, keep up the good work. Everything's great. And they gave him, T-shirts. They gave him, like a Zune, wristband, what do you call it? Like a Windows Phone 8, rubber, the Live Strong type of wristbands and stuff. So, yeah, he's into it, and they're happy to have him in their corner.
Yeah, well, I went with some buddies to the Microsoft store that's close by here not too long ago, and it was really very nice. The people there were very helpful. They gave us some swag. Yep. When we left, they were really pretty cool about everything. Had a nice little Xbox area. It was very fancy,
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if they're all run exactly the same, but the one by us, I mean, I've only had 4 or 5 experiences there. I don't go to the mall a ton, but every time I've gone there, they've been awesome. They've been helpful. They go out of their way. The headset that came with my system that I got launch day was, remember that we were trying to play Far Cry or something that night. It just was totally dead.
Yeah.
And I went there and I was honest, because I hate when I worked in retail, people would come in and give you a story like, oh, I bought this 8 days ago and I don't have a receipt, but I want, so I went in and I was like, listen, I bought this system day one here in this store. I've never used the headset because I've always played single player. I just plugged it in and it doesn't work. They're like, no problem. They pulled a brand new box off the floor and just handed it to me.
That's awesome.
And just did a no receipt swap. So I had a receipt for it. I thought they were going to open the box and just give me the headset. They're like, no, you're good. That's you.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it seems like that's kind of, the direction they want to go in, which is just help people out, which is cool.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I've got a friend, I'm going over to his house tomorrow, and he's a big Microsoft Xbox fan. So I'm going to take the swag that I got from the store and give it to him.
Very cool.
So he can have those. Yeah, so he's such a big Xbox fan guy that...
I kind of am too, so I can't, point fingers.
Well, those... there was a contest a little while back for Xbox One to get your art made into those little, gamer pick sort of things.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and his is the beard guy. That's him.
Oh, really?
That's literally him.
That's cool.
He just kind of made it in some art. So, he's actually in the Xbox.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is.
I actually looked, there was a game, I forget what it's called, Band of Brothers maybe, or Brothers in Arms, one of those games a long time ago, I don't know, early 90s. During the opening credits, there was a character in it that looked 100% exactly like me. So I did a screen cap of it and I showed my sister. She walked in the room and I just said hey, no, I didn't do a screen cap. I showed her the opening credits. And then what it does, it just kind of faded in, a group of guys, sitting around a campfire telling war stories, and then another group of guys, in the trenches, and then there was another group of guys sitting in the back of a Jeep. And I didn't say anything. It just went through one group to one group to one group, and I didn't say anything to her. I didn't tell her to look out for whatever. And then the one that looked like me came up, and she gasped. She was like, she was like, "You're in this game?" And I was like, "Yup." So I told everyone that I won a contest and that they put me in the game.
So if you need your Bill action, track down that game and a copy of Sleepers.
I'll get the exact name of the game. We'll throw it in the notes.
We need to buy you get you an IMDb page.
Yeah, so really. With all but that's got to be unconfirmed.
Uncredited, right? That's what they go.
Cannot be verified.
Hey everybody, it's Duke here to tell you again about our sponsor, Off the Charts Video Games. Be sure to listen all the way through the spot because there's a special offer at the end for Collectorcast listeners. We all know that shopping online for video games can be a hassle. If you shop on eBay, you have to pay shipping to each individual seller. On Amazon, you never see what you're really going to get. And as for the leading online classic game retailers, well, we all know that their prices aren't the best. After years of collecting, trading, and selling on multiple marketplaces, the guys at Off the Charts Video Games have built a site with the needs of collectors in mind. OTCVideogames.com gives the experience of a brick-and-mortar store while you relax at home. With pictures and individual descriptions for every item, you will know exactly what you're going to get. Every game is tested in-house on their multi-system testing station, so your order will come back with their quality guarantee and great customer service. Off the Charts now sells separate boxes and manuals, so you can buy complete and box games all at once or complete your loose games. Browse their games, boxes, and manuals separately or all together. Boxes and manuals are posted now for Nintendo 64 and are coming soon for other systems. Everyone knows the most annoying part of buying online is shipping. Well, at Off the Charts, orders over $50 get free shipping in the US. Not only that, but they always ship orders out the next business day, Monday through Friday, and every order gets tracking. Choose your favorite provider, whether it's UPS, FedEx, or the US Postal Service. Check them out for yourself at www.otcvideogames.com or see their inventory updates and meet their staff on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube with the handle OTC Video Games. Again, that's www.otcvideogames.com and OTC Video Games on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. As a limited time special offer for Collectorcast listeners, enter coupon code Collectorcast at checkout to receive a 5% discount on your order. Again, that's coupon code Collectorcast, all together, one word, no spaces. We have got a lot of questions, Bill.
Good. You know what? I really love the questions. I've said it before. I'd love an episode just filled with questions, but I don't know if everyone else wants that. So for now, we'll just take what we get and we'll keep going with topics.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a big chunk of this episode with questions anyway. But let's get started. From Twitter, we'll start with Twitter. So loyal listener and question submitter at Sega Tomcast, he asks, what's the game your friend keeps on recommending that you secretly tried and don't like, but still haven't told them yet?
Oh, this is such a great question, man. There's so many, like one that sticks out in my mind right away that matches this description completely. And it's a friend of mine who does not listen to this show.
Oh, there you go.
And thinks that it's funny to keep telling me that he doesn't listen. Like, hey, you guys, like my new episode's out. You guys hear it? No, I don't listen to that crap. But I have a friend, and he doesn't listen to this show, so I can tell you he's kind of a jerk. He's hates sandbox games. Literally, like I've and he doesn't really publicize it, but like I'll say like, oh, you got to play this, and he's like, no. Like Crackdown, hates. Far Cry, hates. Like he's like,
what's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's like, I don't mind if you like them.
Is this you're talking about Krabby here, right?
No. I didn't say Metroid. I said Sandbox. Krabby also hates Metroid 2. I don't know if you knew that or not. And 3.
Oh, jerk.
So, but there's one Sandbox game that this dude loves to death, and he begs me to play it, and I'm like, I don't know, it's really not my jam. He loves Saints Row the Third.
Really?
He loves it, and he's like, I don't know what I love about it. It's just, it's part of it's the humor, part of it's just always having stuff to do. And I said, that's what sandbox games are. He's like, I know, but I don't like other ones. I just like this one. He's like, I think the word he said he used was, he's like, I implore you to play this game, please. I will buy it for you, and you will play it. I got it on the Steam sale a while ago. I played it for like an hour, and it is just not for me. It's like, like a lot of games, like you can totally see why some people like them.
Yeah.
They're just not, it's just like that. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I played it for a little bit, and I know exactly what the flow of the game is. Oh, you do this, and then that opens this, and then these are your things, then you can get these power-ups, and then you can do more of this, and you can fly around. Okay, I totally get it. Don't like it. And I haven't told him that I played it, and I don't like it. I just keep telling. He's like, "You gonna play Saints Row?" I'm like, "Oh, one of these days."
Right. Oh man.
Which is no big, because like, you know, I tell him all the time stuff that I don't like that he likes. So it's not like that's the issue. It's just I think it's funny to tell him that that not to tell him that I played it. So
yeah, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you? And don't say Civ 5.
Oh well, I've not played Civ 5, so I can't say. I would also, you could probably say Rogue Legacy, but I haven't played that either.
Oh yeah, it's coming to the one this year.
I'll play it. And I will tell you, Bill. I will tell you what I think of it.
I'm telling you, when you play that game, I know it's going to happen. Like 4 hours into, like 20 minutes into playing it, you're going to text me. You're going to say, "Okay, you were right." 4 hours in, you're going to text me again and say, "I was so wrong." To not have been playing this whole time. It's so freaking good.
Once you get that far to Dark Souls, you'll tell me the same thing.
It's a distinct possibility.
Maybe, or maybe you just will never tell me ever, and that'll be your answer to this question.
If you were not on this show and Krabby was,
I know you've played a little Dark Souls, so you don't have to ruin my day.
I did try the first one. Yes,
that's fine. I would probably have to say, which makes me feel kind of bad. I've got this friend that I used to work with, and he doesn't listen to the show either, thankfully. Which we're still good friends. We get the kids' birthday parties and we hang out and stuff, and we both play on the Xbox and whatnot. But like, oh man, like you remember was it about a year or so ago? Remember Battlefield 4 came out?
Yep.
And him and his wife both are like so really into Battlefield and play on all the time. And he's like, "Oh, you got to get Battlefield. You got to get Battlefield." And I got Battlefield. It was like back. Remember that? I think I told you guys there was some Walmart mess up, and you could get like really cheap.
Yes, so you got like Diablo, and I remember. Yeah, they had the games listed for like $17 or something, and
they were brand new.
They canceled everyone's orders in the country except you.
Just about. So I got it, and I took it home, and I played a little bit, and I really. I didn't like it at all, and I really didn't have the heart to kind of tell him about it. So, and then I felt bad because the other day he just sent me a message again. He's like, "Dude, Battlefied Hardline, get it." And I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Well, I don't have any extra money for games right now."
Yeah. Now I got to tell you, I've picked up when a Battlefield game is a couple years old and $5, I've picked them up here and there and just played through the single-player campaign. I've never played through a Battlefield single-player campaign that I didn't like. I'm just not a competitive multiplayer shooter type guy. So I have no problem telling someone, "Hey, you should totally jump in on this multiplayer shooter with me." No. I will never do that.
Well, I wanted it because, like I said, we used to work together, so we don't get to see each other as much as we used to. So I thought, it'd be fun for us to play something together where we could chit-chat, but I just couldn't stomach the guy. It really wasn't for me. So I keep making him suggest, like, "Can we play something else? Is there something else you want to play?" He likes those military things. I played some other ones, like the Tom Clancy ones with him, but no Battlefield. No thanks.
Right.
I'd be curious, though, from our listeners. I would like to hear answers from our listeners on that question.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man, you could have a show on that question. Like as you were talking, I thought of like 3 or 4 more like stories from other guys. Like, we should actually make that question part of like the intro to the show.
Yeah, well, that's maybe if you guys send us some messages around that one, we'll see if maybe we can read them out next time. I'll try to collect those. I'd like to hear some dirty secrets that people have. That would be good.
Nice.
The next one, I can probably guess close to what your answer is on this one, but we'll see.
I haven't read the questions yet, so these are all surprises to me.
Yeah, there we go. At a new listener that wrote at least a new question asker. What's the right word for that? Questionnaire? Yeah, there we go. At Andrew Bowman 36 asks, "How many repros / hacks / homebrew carts do you own?" I guess it's probably in response to the last episode. So,
okay.
Bill?
Repro / homebrew / hacks. So he's kind of running the whole, anything that's not a legit thing he's asking.
Yep.
I think just a couple. Just I had a copy of Dragon Leap that I purchased. That actually Chris purchased for me because I couldn't make it over to the booth in time to get it at Too Many Games a couple years ago. That I have since sold. Played it for a while, flipped it, which is what I do with most homebrew carts. And so I had that. I got rid of that. I have the Fix-It Felix Repro. Sorry. That's kind of a weird one because it's taken like the code and then putting it on a cart. So I don't know if you'd call it a hack, repro, whatever.
Pirate, maybe?
Yeah, pirate. Yeah, you're probably right. It is a pirate. So the Fix-It Felix that was done on Nintendo/Sega Age by, I don't know how you say the name, it's DRA6OON, I think it is.
I say Dragoon, but I have
it's Dragoon, yeah. So I have that one still, and I have my NHL 12 ROM hack that I took an existing ROM hack and kind of not figured out, with the help of the people on the NHL94.com forums, figured out how to do some basic, tile graphics and, switch some images out and stuff like that. And I had a very cool dude named DJ Shock on Sega Age do the repro artwork for me, and I had the box made. So yeah, just those Fix-It Felix and NHL 12 are the only two I currently own. And the only one I've owned before that was Dragon Leap. So I'm kind of a lightweight.
Don't you still have Dark Side?
Oh, so yeah, right. Yep. That's and another one. So that New Poil picked up a Cool Spot for me.
Yeah.
The Complete in Box Cool Spot at the Portland Retro Show up there. And I do have Dark Side, which I bought from Mickey from... he was at Too Many Games also. It was that same trip.
Yep. Sure was.
Yeah, wow. I'm up... I have more than I even realized.
There you go, right? For me,
I'm guessing you have substantially more than that.
Yeah, I'm pretty prolific. I think mostly NES. I don't. I have the Fix-It Felix. I don't think I have anything for any other systems besides Famicom and NES. But I would probably guess somewhere in the neighborhood of 30-ish.
Oh, wow.
Probably most of those are homebrews, but I've got some Famicom Pirates originals and
do you have any of those like 20-in-1 Fami carts?
I do have some 4-in-1s. Yeah, I got a 4-in-1 that's got Street Fighter 2 on it.
Nice.
Which is bad. It's pretty bad, but
I think Pirates are really interesting, and if I saw Pirates, I'd just grab it because I just think they I don't know, they're just interesting to me. Homebrews, I didn't think I was interested in them until I started going to events and people started bringing old homebrews. I'm like, oh my god, this game's amazing. Where do you get this? Oh, you can't. So,
right. Some of them keep getting sold. Some of them, unfortunately, don't.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. That's some foreshadowing about an upcoming episode too, right?
Ooh.
Up next, I think it's Wimpster is here. So at Wimpy Animations. He asks, do you keep manuals in their box or separate? And if it's separate, how do you store them?
Good question. So, obviously he's not talking about current generation games because they don't come with manuals anymore.
Wah wah.
So, yeah, I keep the manuals on my disc because you can access them from the main menu.
Right.
But
if
yeah,
they even have them anymore.
Exactly. Now, this is actually a really good question, too. When I first started collecting NES games, I would get anything. Cart only, great. If it had the manual, fantastic. If it had a box, it looks even better. And then once I got more and more box games, I was like, yeah, I have to get all this way because it just looks so good. But for a while, I kind of went through this phase where I was like, okay, now I need box protectors. So then I got, a whole bunch of box protectors and put stuff in there. And then when I wanted to go play a game, you got to open up the box protector. You have to carefully take the game box out, carefully open the thing. Is the manual in the way? It was a whole procedure. So I started thinking, do I want to keep my games separate from the boxes to, limit wear and limit the amount of time it takes? And then I took that a step further and I said, do I want to store my manuals separately? For a while I thought I could get binders and get those pages that you put postcards in.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to do, I got 5 of these pages and I started to put manuals in there. The problem is they just do not stay for anything.
Oh.
And I got some pages for 4x6 photos with a little, like almost like a scrapbook type thing that you can put like write like a description, like, oh, Hawaii 1972, but where you would just put the name of the game in the manual if you wanted to. And these guys, they were just so hard to get the manuals in and out. So yeah, it's a good question, because I've considered that and I tried to implement it, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? It's just such a pain, and I don't like having everything being all over the place, and this thing's here and this thing's there. So at this point, everything is 100% together. All the manuals are stored with the boxes for me.
I can see that, but yeah, as far as playing goes, I think I understand completely. That would be a real pain to actually have to try to open all that stuff up just to get the game out.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like a flash card or something would just solve that problem.
Yeah, and that's always what the consideration. You're like, because if you had that, you'd still be playing the game on legit hardware. You just would be able to leave all your things on the shelf there. So that's always been the consideration for me as well.
Yeah, definitely. For the most part, I don't go for boxes. I mean, I have some just because, I picked them up that way. But for a lot of games, I still have the cart and the manual. So of course I store the manuals separately. I just have some photo boxes that I use to put the manuals in. That way, they're acid free. They're not going to damage the manuals. They'll stay nice and clean and won't get sun faded or anything else. So that's kind of what I do. I just stack them up. I've got probably about 3 of those photo boxes.
Nice. That's a good point. For games that I have that aren't complete yet, that I only have manuals or carts and manuals for, I do have like an index card box with A through Z like tab organizers in them. So that, and it's like like you said, like no fading, no acid. So that way, if I when I do get the box or cart or manual or whatever for the game, I can just flip to the letter and see grab the manual out of there. But yeah, other than incompletes or orphans, yeah, all my stuff is together.
Yeah, I would say, I guess depending on how you decide to store those, the big thing I would say, if you're putting them in some sort of box or something else, just make sure it's acid free. You don't want to just use some random box that could, over time damage your stuff. Use just photo boxes or something like that's pretty cheap, or something if you're going to use some acid free paper or something like that. It's fine. So those are our Twitter questions. We've got some Facebook questions. So we'll start off with our own Neo Magic Warrior. He sends us a question.
Whoa.
What is the first video game you remember playing?
First game I remember playing has got to be either Duck Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
It's either Duck Hunt or Super Mario Brothers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, born in 81, just as I was starting to become like aware that video games were a thing that existed in the world when all my older cousins and everything were playing them. I just saw like blip bloop bleeps on the screen. I didn't know what was going on. So the youngest kid in the room, what are they going to hand that kid to play? They're going to put in Duck Hunt, because all you're going to do is you're going to shoot the duck or you're not shoot the duck. And I remember that when I asked my parents for a Nintendo for Christmas, I said, that's the game I want. I said, I want Duck Hunt. That's the reason I want this box. So, and then when we opened the thing I saw the words Mario Brothers on it and said, oh, it comes with Mario Brothers. And I looked my mom right in the face and I said, but I want a Duck Hunt. and she said, no, that's in there too. Look, it's also in there, because it was like the deluxe set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I if I had to say for sure, it's got to be Duck Hunt.
I definitely remember playing Duck Hunt very early, but
that wasn't the first.
No, I'm a little older. Let's just say a little older than that. The first game I remember playing.
He did say video game, right?
Yeah, video game. Okay. Yeah, it'd probably have to be Combat on the Atari 2600.
Okay. Sure. Which mode?
Tanks. Usually we play tanks. Sometimes I like jets, but most of the time my cousins had an Atari before I did it. I'd go over to their house, and then I had an Atari after that, and they had quite a few games. But I guess probably like anything else, being like a little kid, what's the easier game for you to play? All right, this one's not too bad. Plus, I can just shoot the tar out of you. So I remember playing Combat. I also remember playing some Kaboom. I remember playing a lot of Kaboom back in the day. And Jungle Hunt. I remember playing a lot of Jungle Hunt over at their house. I didn't have most of those games, besides Combat, once I had my Atari, but yeah, I'd probably have to say Combat. So
cool. Combat's solid, and Kaboom is too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually played Jungle Hunt.
It's not too bad. It's it's like there's these multiple stages with different like tasks to do. If you saw it, you probably would know what it is. So like the first one, you're just swinging from vine to vine. And then there's another level.
I played that.
Yeah, and there's another level where there's rocks, and you have to jump over the rocks and swim with the alligators.
It sounds like you're describing Pitfall.
It's kind of.
Is it an Activision game?
It's not.
Okay.
I don't. It was an Atari. I think Atari put that out.
Was there another level where you're flying a plane and you have to fly it through a barn?
No, it's not barnstorming. What a weird game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be curious to hear from our listeners, too, about that one. Man, what was the first game you guys remember playing?
Yeah.
That will probably be an age test.
Oh, absolutely. And a branch off of that might even be, what's the first game you played on a particular system?
Yeah.
Because sometimes as you get because I never had Atari growing up, and then it's like, oh, here's this thing, this older thing. This is Atari. This is what it was before. Oh, cool. And then, because I remember the first game I played for Atari, even though it wasn't the first game I played, so that might even be a cool branch off we could maybe do later on.
Yeah. That's, yeah. I'm going to be really frightened because probably a lot of people are going to say like PlayStation games or N64 games or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, like PlayStation 1, 2, and N64 are so big right now because the people who are like, growing up and getting adult jobs and having discretionary income, that's the stuff they grew up with, so they're just hot right now.
That's fun.
And I was talking to a guy who's doing some work for us at the office that I work at, and we were talking about video games. We got on the topic, and I mentioned Dreamcast, and he was like, Dreamcast, that thing was awsul. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? Dreamcast is great. And I was like, what didn't you like on Dreamcast? And he's like, oh, well, I never really played it. So I was like, oh, I got to give you a list. And he's like, oh, there was that one great game where you were just running around trying to get that glowy stone. And I said, you mean Power Stone? He's like, yeah, that game was great. So could you imagine? So put yourself in this guy's, it's the only game this dude ever played for the Dreamcast was Power Stone. And he said the system wasn't great.
He obviously didn't play enough Power Stone.
No, you needed to play more Power Stone.
Or maybe he didn't play multiplayer Power Stone.
Yeah, single player is a different ballgame.
Yeah, geez. Well, the land of ignorance that people live in.
Yeah, he's a good kid. We just have to have him open his eyes.
There you go, right? Up next, we've got our buddy Rustling Man.
Rustling Man, I got a good Rustling Man story. I don't know if it'll be after this question or later on, but...
well, go ahead.
Okay, so Rustling Man, as people who listen to the show know, he lives pretty close to me. Like, we're like within like a half hour of each other. Super, super, super great, awesome dude. Just real nice guy. Always, I don't know if he's ever frowned in his life. He's just always happy. Super, super talented artist, craftsman, especially with all the retro stuff that he does. Techie, a good buddy of mine on RF Gen, who always is sending me additional crap. He's always throwing stuff aside for me. He'll, make me a deal on like 4 games, and then he'll just throw like 8 more games in that he's just had, and a lot of people on RF Gen are like that. I did a blog article recently about that. So anyway, Techie's really done so much, just random good stuff for me, and a lot of other people have too, so I have to get on the ball with repaying him. But I wanted to repay Techie, so I reached out to Russ, and I was like, Russ, I need you to make something amazing, and I didn't know what I wanted him to make because I'm not creative, and I didn't, know what would be cool.
Yeah.
So I said, here's Techie. He's a great member in RF Gen. He loves the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. We have this hockey connection that we can also talk about. What do you think? So I gave Russ a few weeks to think about it, and he's like, I have an idea. So he basically did an acrylic painting of the Anaheim Ducks logo, And then the mask part of it, if you've ever seen the logo, it's like a shield with 2 hockey sticks going through it, like in an X, with like a duck shaped goalie mask in front of it. So he did like an acrylic painting of the logo, and then the duck mask he did like perler bead art. So it's like a 3D type, and he mounted the whole thing in a shadow box. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. So anyway, I was going to surprise Techie with it and just ship it out to him and be like, hey, like, thanks for all the amazing, cool things that you do for me and other members of the site. Here you go. And Techie sends me a message 2 days ago, I think it was. And I hadn't read it because I was lazy. So I just read it today, and it said, hey, Russ let the cat out of the bag a little bit. It looks awesome. Thank you so much. Can't wait to get it. And then we started talking hockey. So he sent me a link to Russ's YouTube page.
Oh no!
Where Russ posted a video of what he was making for this cool guy Bill that he knows for this guy on RF Generation. And I was like, oh. Okay, well, it's not going to be a surprise, but it's still awesome, and everyone's going to end up happy. And I got to see how Russ made it, so... But yeah, that's my Wrestling Man story. So it all works out in the end, so we'll post some pictures of that, or maybe we'll even throw the Wrestling Man video in the show notes.
Yeah, you have to tell him next time it's name withheld by request or something, right?
It's... I didn't even know he was going to make the video. If he was, I would have said, hey, do me a favor. I'll let you know once he gets it, and then you can post it. But it's totally fine. I'm not upset at all. I just I thought it was funny.
That's funny. Well, he sent us 3 questions. So, and one of these was inevitable.
Was one of them, hey, Bill, when are you going to send Techie that thing?
Hey, Bill, I put a video on YouTube. You might want to send that thing out.
Yeah, it's not set to private. Should I have done that?
The first one here, Krabby should have been here, and maybe by the time we do the next show when he's on, he can share his thoughts.
I'll be Krabby for this question.
Oh, okay, all right. What's your thoughts on Nintendo going mobile?
Oh, I really like it, I really think...
Hey?
I mean, Nintendo can do no wrong, I mean, they shouldn't have to say they're sorry. They should just be able to, guy. I don't really know a good Krabby or
can you do your
Canadian
best
accent.
Terrence and Phillip?
Yeah, right. What is it? The guy who used to be a buddy is now a guy. Right, buddy? No, yeah, I think I saw this question on Facebook when we were soliciting responses. I'd actually be really curious to see what Krabby thinks of this.
Yeah.
I didn't read the details of the story, but I did read the headlines a few weeks ago or whenever it was. Nintendo finally, embracing mobile as a platform where they can release, games and stuff. I didn't really read it because it's not really something that interests me personally. So if you were asking me how I feel about it, I feel fine about it. I mean, most companies, whether it's a big online mobile presence or a small one, they do a little bit of, business in that space. I don't think it cheapens the brand at all. I don't think it, I just, it doesn't bug me one way or the other as a non-consumer in that space. I just think it's something that, it's nice to see them kind of pulling their head out of the sand a little bit. Because they do seem like the company of the 3 big ones that is kind of the most rigid, as far as where they've been and where they're going and what they want to do. So yeah, it doesn't really bug me.
Yeah, they've partnered with a Japanese company, DNA, to put mobile games out, and they've said they're not porting anything, so there'll be new products. I'm going to guess they'll probably use their IPs, but come up with something that's definitely geared for the phone market, which is fine.
Kirby would make sense.
Yeah, I could see some Kirby games, some WarioWare games.
Yeah. I mean, there's already Kirby games that that have touch in them that are Wii control games. That seems to be the Nintendo franchise that every time they make a game, they're like, what else can we do with Kirby? They never do the same thing with him. But yeah, WarioWare, I didn't even think of that. What was it, Smooth Moves? Was that the Wii game?
Yeah, I think so.
that was fun. I remember I owned that like the day it came out. It was like, oh, it's like 800 mini games. Sure, bring it on.
Yeah.
That was a silly little fun game, so maybe that could work.
I thought like Picross would probably be a perfect fit.
I love
right?
that game.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of not like accused of being a Nintendo hater, but people are like, wow, you really don't like Nintendo for someone who collects old Nintendo stuff. And I said, yeah, I really love old Nintendo stuff. The new stuff doesn't excite me that much, but Picross, oh man, I love Picross. I don't know if we ever talked about it before.
No, I don't think we have.
Oh man, this game's amazing. If they put Picross on mobile, I'd purchase it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a Picross game. It seems like a natural fit.
Let's just extremely quickly explain this game. It is it's a grid. It's like a graph, like almost like a graph, like a board, and there are there's kind of like rows and columns, like there would be in any graph, and there are numbers next to each one of them. And basically, within this grid or graph, there is a picture hidden, and you have to uncover the picture by using kind of this like mathematic, like not formula, but like this procedure. So basically, let's say there's like 10, a row of 10, and on next to that row it says, 5, 3. So you know that there are 5, like kind of like pixels or pieces of this picture in a row, and 3 in a row. So then by using that deduction, you can say, okay, well, at the most, it has to start either on the leftmost thing here, or since there's a 5 and a 3, it could start 3 over from the other side, plus 2. So you start kind of like slowly uncovering this picture using this deduction, mathematic deduction. And it doesn't sound like it would be that fun when you're like, oh, it just sounds like a weird math game. It is so good.
It is. Picross is a lot of fun.
You really just can't stop. Like you start getting, okay, 1, 2, 3, like you feel like a scientist.
Yeah. It's kind of like a weird twist of like a Sudoku-ish sort of thing.
Right. But less
more fun.
Exactly. Less mathy.
Yeah.
And it's really more based on your deduction skills than your math skills.
Yeah.
Really super fun. If you haven't played it, highly, highly recommended. I think there is a downloadable version on the what do you call it? The Nintendo eShop.
I think so. There's even like a Game Boy version, probably on like a Virtual Console and stuff.
Yeah, excellent game.
Yeah, very good stuff. I could see something like that. As far as how I, what are my thoughts? It was inevitable. Japan is such a huge mobile market, even more so than the U.S. I think the pressure probably just couldn't be avoided. They're a publicly traded company. They have investors, and investors want money. Mm-hmm. So if they're only so long going to look at you and go, hey, how come you're not making some of this money? Eventually you're going to have to go, okay. There's only so much. And, maybe if the Wii U was a crazy screaming success as much as the 3DS was, maybe they could say, no, look, we've got it figured out. But
right. Or even the Wii.
Yeah. I mean, I think their investors have a point. It makes sense, especially the Japanese market.
Right.
I think they've already made the same statement when they said that they're not going to abandon, their traditional markets. So that's not going away. They're working on another piece of hardware right now called the NX, whatever that thing is going to be, which, I mean, of course, everybody's always working on the next piece of hardware.
Right. It's whenever a story comes out like, oh, they're working on the next thing. Like, well, of course they are.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing piece of research.
Yeah. You can pretty much guarantee that when they were wrapping up PS4 and Xbox One, they're at least already laying out pie in the sky ideas for the next console.
Right. And yep. So it's probably all very high level, but they're definitely doing that stuff. And I wonder if, because there's some other traditional companies that have experimented in the mobile space, and I wonder if Nintendo going there has anything to do with either the fact that other companies have started to go there, or that seeing the financial results of other companies going there. Because Square has been putting, old Final Fantasy games on Android and iOS, and charging really, really high prices for them.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I can't imagine they're selling them very well at that rate,
no,
though.
I don't think you're selling them, you know, like millions, like, you know, like you'd think like, you know, that you might sell like a, you know, a game if it was like 99 cents. But if you sell 800,000 of them, you know, at $15 to $20, I mean, that's still a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a little bit of this, you know, other companies, you know, experimenting there that forced Nintendo out there. I think there's a lot to say about the shareholders looking at the company and saying, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
To you know, take the company where we thought it was going to be, you know, now 2 years ago.
Yeah, and if you're churning out big profits, you know, shareholders they're not going to bother you. But you know, when you're not churning out giant profits, they're going to ask a lot of questions. So you have to answer. I think maybe Iwata wasn't thrilled about the idea, but it's probably to the point where he can't say no anymore.
Right.
So at least if he wants his job.
Yeah.
I think probably the thing that people are afraid of is like Sega recently has basically said they're pretty much just doing mobile now. I think people are afraid that, you know, this might be the start of that sort of path, but I think like Nintendo and Sega are two totally different beasts. I mean, Sega never had money.
I feel like people need to kind of, you know, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, you know, like when something happens and you're like, oh, well, I just want to be careful because it's a slippery slope. And that's all I'm really saying. Like, okay, I understand. Like, we just got to be careful because, you know, you just don't want to keep, you know, sliding in a certain direction. But at the same time, I do think people need to calm down and say, like, oh, well, if they do this, then Nintendo's going to be like software only in 7 years. Calm down. It's Nintendo and Sega. I don't know if I could name two other companies in the same industry that are more different.
Yeah.
Like Coke and Pepsi are more similar than Nintendo and Sega are. I don't really see a whole lot of parallels between those two companies ever.
Yeah, not in the last 20 years.
No.
Okay. Up next, Russ asks, if you could make a video game movie, what game would you choose? And he says it could be one that has already been made as well.
From a business standpoint, I probably would go against that just because, I don't know. It's unless like a whole lot of time has passed, everyone's going to look at the old one and be like, they couldn't figure it out then. What are they going to do now?
You don't want to make the next Mortal Kombat?
No, I don't even want to watch the next Mortal Kombat. I love the first Mortal Kombat movie. I saw it in the theater, and I wonder if I love it because I was in such a Mortal Kombat phase at the time.
Yeah.
And if it's really not actually that good. I'm pretty sure it's really good. I never saw the second one. What was it called? Annihilation or something?
I didn't see that either. Yeah.
Yeah, it was whatever the second Mortal Kombat was. Isret will tell us exactly what it was called because he has it on his shelf. And I started watching it on Netflix. So I was like, oh, I never see this. Let me try this. I got like 7 minutes into this guy, and I was like, I cannot continue this. But no, so back to Russ's question. And if I can make a video game movie from any video game, including a movie that's already been made, that was the question?
Yes.
This is,
That's tough. That's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a tough one. Now, not to extend the question, but I'm just telling you my thought process here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I look for in a movie is not necessarily because, like, a lot of times when you think about some of the best games you played, take like Final Fantasy VII, one of the Sacred Cows. Forever people are saying like, oh, you could make such a great Final Fantasy VII movie. The story is so amazing. I've always argued that there's no way you could make a good Final Fantasy VII movie because the story is way too big and complicated for a 2 or 3 hour movie. You would just leave so much out. Like a lot of the way that, like, you know, when a movie's made out of a book, a lot of stuff is left out.
And it wouldn't make any sense because Final Fantasy VII doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, that's why there's not a Metal Weird Solid movie because it wouldn't make sense.
God.
But somehow there, but somehow there are Tekken movies. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the answer.
I've got mine. I'm ready.
What I want is a Skyrim movie.
Skyrim.
No, I'm not saying I want the exact story of Skyrim in a movie. But what I'm saying is, at any point in Skyrim, when I would just drop into it and just start doing stuff, it was a little story. And it doesn't have to be like, like the whole epic of Skyrim, just a little story. Little story, great environment, fantasy. That's kind of like, like one of my jams. And I don't think anyone does, besides like Lord of the Rings in the last, dozen years or so, I haven't really seen a whole lot of killer fantasy movies. So that's what I'd vote for.
You just want to see a guy running around saying Fus Ro Da all day,
yeah,
right?
With just arrows and knees all over the place.
Oh man, I'm gonna go a different direction than that. I would take one that's already laid out for me. I would Mass Effect movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
my other thought was space.
Yeah,
because one of my current favorite movies in the universe is Interstellar.
I haven't seen it yet.
I know it's polarizing. A lot of people, either like it a lot or don't like it.
That's McConaughey, right?
Yeah, it's Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater and I loved it. I watched it recently. It came out on Blu-ray, digital download, whatever. I watched it again. Loved it more.
I'd like to see it.
Oh man, the space stories, and especially this one, and Christopher Nolan's ridiculous. So good. But yeah, Mass Effect movie. I'd be surprised if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect fit. I mean, the plot's already written, and it's a pretty good plot, I think.
Do you think they'd use the plot from the first, the whole Saren and maybe like a prequel with like how he turns and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it'd get the Hollywood treatment, so I'm sure they'd flex that around a little bit. But I can see the whole Reaper thing. I mean, that's a good story arc.
Definitely.
And you could probably do a pretty good job pulling enough small pieces to make, you could do it one movie. You could make a trilogy out of it, I suppose, if you had the funds.
Right.
And the time to do it. But I think there's a lot of material there. I think it'd make a really good movie. I really liked the storyline.
And just like Star Wars had the spin-off with the Return to Endor movies,
no.
You could do a spin-off just on the Elcor.
Here we go.
Like these big Snuffleupagus side stories.
That's right. Oh, man.
Well, I don't know.
Sarcasm.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Oh, that's so good. The what do you call it? Hopefully optimistic.
Yeah.
I forgot that they announced their and that not to get too far off topic, but one of my favorite books in the world, The Name of the Wind. It's a Patrick Rothfuss fantasy book, kind of like Harry Potter but for grown-ups. There's one race of people, for lack of a more time to explain. They use gestures to indicate their mood because they have zero, they have no facial expression. They have no inflection in their voice.
They can't
emote. They have these hand motions that signify their mood. And in the book, they put these just in italics. So before they say something, it'll be slightly interested. And it reminds me of the Elcor.
So do you get to imagine what that hand signal would look like?
Yeah, and because he'll describe him a little bit. He's because for a while he thinks the guy has a nervous tic or something, and he's and his hand moved a funny way again, and then eventually the guy tries to teach him how to do this, and just because he's so weird and all different reasons, he's about to get in a bar fight, and he turns to the kid and he says, "Watch my back." And you're like, okay, he wants me to make sure no one sneaks up on him and, gets him or anything. But then the guy just wipes the floor with all these guys. He didn't need anyone to watch his back. And then after the fight, he goes back to him and he says, "Were you watching my back?" And he's like, "Oh, you wanted me to actually just watch your back." He was showing him posture while he's fighting. Did you watch my back? That's how I want you to hold your back. Oh, this is a great book.
Good stuff. All right, last question from Russ. I've got an easy answer for this one.
Go for it.
Do you guys do the dew? And if so, what's your favorite flavor?
Of course we do the dew.
I don't do the dew.
You don't do the dew?
No.
Why don't you do the dew?
This is terrible.
What? Well, yeah, but you still got to do the dew.
No, I don't. It's just horrible.
I do the dew. Would you like to hear my flavor?
Oh, sure. I didn't even realize there were flavors.
Oh, absolutely. So we are talking about Mountain Dew, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, when you do the dew, it depends where I'm at. Because if I do the dew at Panera Bread...
They have it there?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing just like the legit dew. The orig.
Yeah.
If I'm at Taco Bell, then you got to upgrade to Baja Blast.
Wow.
Which I believe is only available at the Bell.
Oh.
I think that's it. Like a lot of people,
But they
I
have
know
like,
a lot of...
So just blue, is blue Baja? Is that the stuff I've seen at Taco Bell? Is it blue?
Yes, yeah, Baja Blast. I don't know how you describe it. It's just a,
Blue?
it's like it's a blue soda.
It's a blue Mountain Dew?
Bluish green, like the color of Neptune in Mass Effect, in the Soul system. But no, I do know people who like will hunt down Code Red. And I don't know why. I don't think this stuff tastes very good, but like it's like, oh, it's Code Red. We got to find it. It's like
It's like Red
iridium.
Pop or something?
Yeah, it's a red Mountain Dew, and I think it was originally made for Halo. It was like a promotional tie-in, but you can still find cases of it. Like it's still produced like on a small scale, and people go crazy for it. But yeah, I do the regular Dew at Panera Bread and Baja Blast at Taco Bell. Other than that, I'm not doing.
I don't drink Mountain Dew. Sorry.
Do you drink soda?
Yeah, Coke.
Okay.
Usually Coke, Pepsi, but no, I really don't like the taste much of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, if between Coke and Pepsi, I definitely prefer Coke.
Yeah,
there's a funny so there was like a meme going around for Pepsi for a while for like the new slogan, Pepsi, is Pepsi okay?
Right, because that's what they ask you every time you say, I'd like a Coke.
Yeah, you go to a restaurant, let me get a Coke. They say, is Pepsi okay? No, it's not, but it's all you have.
And you say, dang it, bring me water.
Yep. That's a good question, Russ.
I don't know. Boy, I didn't... when I was like a teenager, that's, we would do like Mountain Dew and Jolt Cola. Do you remember Jolt Cola?
I remember that it existed. I've never had it.
It's terrible. Their slogan was all the sugar and twice the caffeine.
Oh man, you know what I remember it from is Wayne's World, when Garth like thinks he's hallucinating and he says, "I think I had too much Jolt Cola."
Right.
I've never had it. And the other one that used to be big when I was like in like the mid '90s, BAWLS balls.
I don't know that one.
It was big. I don't know why, but it was big in the PC community. You actually could buy cases of it on the websites that you would buy computer parts.
Okay, that's the place I want to get my drinks.
I know. They would like, okay, here's your heat sink, your processor, your memory, and your caffeinated beverage.
Here's your balls.
Yeah, here's your balls.
I just had some balls shipped to me. Do you remember Crystal Pepsi?
Absolutely. I had it one time.
It was terrible.
I don't remember what it tasted like, but I remember I had it one time, so it could have been good.
No, it was really terrible. I remember Crystal Pepsi. That reminds me, I don't remember where I saw it. I was watching YouTube, and somebody found like it was like a can of some old pop that they didn't make anymore. It's probably like 20 years old or something, and then decides to drink it. You can probably guess it was not a very pleasant experience from there.
Yeah, one thing that I will share with you as a beer drinker and a lover of beer, I have learned that no matter how old, no matter what the temperature conditions were, beer's not spoiling. When they talk about beer that is skunked, that's a different phenomenon that happens from light. So as long as it hasn't been exposed to massive amounts of light, and even skunked beer will not make you sick. It just tastes very bad and it smells very bad. But I know there's a lot of people who worry about like, oh, that beer is no good, throw it out. If it smells okay, you can definitely drink it.
Well, I imagine the alcohol would kill off anything that would decide to try to live in there, right?
Yeah. Also, it's just cool. Just finding a beer in a closet and just cracking it open.
Ah, beer. All right, moving across the ocean. Our German friend, Eric Lindner, he asks us, can you get insurance on your collectibles in the States and Canada?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can. He's got more parts to it here, but he kind of wants to know, is it in with your normal household insurance? And then he's asking about, like, if we have particular insurance, and what about things for, like, big value items?
Good question. And that's not something we've ever addressed, I don't think, on the show.
I don't think so.
I would say it depends on several things. Depends on the size of your collection. It depends on your insurance company, and it depends on the type of coverage that you want, which I think again would then link back to the insurance company that you use. So just like when you get homeowners insurance or renters insurance, they like for you to do like a rough inventory of the things that are in your house, and then you can get like a basic dollar value for it. And I know this is basic day one insurance stuff, but then you have a deductible. You have a premium that you pay, then you have a deductible in the case anything happens, and then you have your coverage, like, the amount of stuff that you're covered for. I remember seeing a YouTube video for, what's the guy's name? Guy who runs trading games.
Yeah, gosh.
Is it Jason?
Yeah. I can't
remember his last name, but he did a YouTube video of this big, huge basement, that he had, like, complete collections for, like, 9 or 10 different systems, and it was like 3 games away from a few others. But he talked about insurance, and he said, like, it's insuring this, room, it's like something like $5 to $7 grand a year.
Yeah.
For the amount of, because like you figure the value of all that stuff, how hard it would be to replace it, and how much it would cost to replace it if you needed to. Even though the risk is very low, that's a very expensive policy for the amount of stuff that he has. So he said, I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure if I'm even, really that interested in keeping it all, because it's costing me 20 grand every 5 years to own it.
Yeah.
So it's like tax on your car almost, like you just don't get anything back on it. So yes, absolutely. My collection is not large enough, I don't think, to merit additional coverage beyond what my homeowners has. But absolutely, in this country, if your homeowner's insurance has like a limit, you can absolutely take out a supplementary policy from the same insurance company, or just go get quotes from 3 or 4 other insurance companies. Say, hey, I have X collection. It's the only thing I want you to insure. Send a guy out. So basically, they would send a person out, depending on the value of it, just to appraise it, to see what kind of living conditions you're in, how likely your area is to have floods, like all the standard risk factors. But absolutely, the only coverage I have is my standard homeowners, and I gave them a rough dollar value of the stuff that I have inside. So that's me.
Yeah, I think that pretty well sums it up. There are companies that do sell specific, like, collectibles insurance policies. The ones I've looked into, usually the way they do it is you pay so much for a certain dollar amount worth of coverage that you want. So it's up to you to really decide what your collection is worth, and then you pay up for X amount of, insurance. And it's not cheap, but, you're deciding this is what, I want to insure this for. Homeowners, boy, those things can be really tricky. You can probably get some sort of replacement value, but you're kind of at the mercy of whatever the insurance company decides your stuff is worth. So they may look at this and go, oh, you have 1,000 Nintendo games. Well, Mario Duck Hunt's $3, so here's $3,000.
That sounds like the same people who were doing the tax on Krabby's shipping.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know unless you can nail them down, but good luck with an insurance company. And then the other thing you have to keep in mind, at least here in the U.S., is that flood insurance is not a part of a standard homeowner's insurance. You actually have to get that separately from the government, is the only people that offer that. So, and that's probably not going to cover collectibles at all. So if flooding is an issue, you better think about that. I know a lot of people do finished basements, very susceptible to flooding. It's a concern. I guess it depends on where you live, right? It depends on where you live. I think it's something to consider. I don't have any special policy right now. I have to kind of look at it, kind of like what you're talking about with that guy, and go, well, at a certain point, I could replace things. You know what I mean? If it's paying into the insurance, I could just replace it myself.
Right.
I don't know. I guess if I was sitting on, Nintendo World Championship and some crazy stuff, I would probably consider it more. But where I'm at right now, I don't. I think I'll take my risks.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know what it's like in Germany, Deutschland, how things work over there. Maybe you can tell us. All right, up next, Scott Breeze, which is Beauchamp. He asks us, which game has been the most frustratingly unbeatable for each of you? He gives some examples, maybe like Battletoads, Silver Surfer, etc. Whatever.
I've never played Battletoads versus Silver Surfer.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with that one either.
Most frustratingly unbeatable. One of the first one that pops into my mind is Code Veronica.
You didn't beat Code Veronica?
I did beat it, so I don't know if I can say unbeatable. I was extremely frustrated with towards the end of that game.
Yeah.
I just remember, I don't normally play bosses 30, 40 times. I remember having a really hard time with the end of that game. And maybe it's just because I'm not good at it. What else?
I don't remember having that much trouble with that one, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
It was definitely a Resident. I played 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica. I thought it was Code Veronica. Maybe I'm misremembering.
That was the Dreamcast one.
Yes, yeah. The one with it
was the first kind of 3D one.
One of the coolest 3D intros, CG intros, I think ever, where she drops the gun and then drops and then grabs it and hits the barrel. Oh, that's so cool. Frustratingly unbeatable. I mean, he mentions Battletoads. I beat that with my brother when I was a kid.
How did you ever do that?
Months of.
You had to. It was a nightmare game.
I mean, you were just every, okay, we've beaten that level. Next month, we're going to handle the next level. You really just had to get super good at everything. And I absolutely could never have done it by myself. Battletoads is definitely a tough one. Frustratingly unbeatable. I could never beat Back to the Future.
Oh, why would you want to?
I don't know if I mentioned this before. We didn't have a ton of money growing up, and when we got good grades, my parents would let us choose a game. So we had that game for 6 or 8 months, and if we couldn't borrow something from friends, so we had the games that we had, and we that's all we had. So Back to the Future was the game that we had, and that's what we played for a long, long time. So got really good at that, first level. Until you get to the soda fountain or
you have to throw the things.
I think we beat that level twice, and then we couldn't get past the next level.
Oh man!
I hear the music in my head right now. And nothing to do with the movie at all.
So no, somebody said that if you slow that tune down, it's the power of love. I don't really know.
I'll try it, but if they're pulling some Inception stuff on me, I don't know if I buy that.
I haven't tried it, but somebody told me they said that's the power of love if you slow it down.
I think that's a troll, but I'll give it a try.
If so, let me know. I'd be curious. For me, gosh, I don't know. There's probably a million of these things over the years. One that sticks out in my head was stupid Wizards and Warriors on the NES. God, we used to play that thing all the stinking time. I could never get past the castle. There's this part towards the end where you have to scale the castle and you have to make these precise little jumps on these stupid little bricks. Forget it. Because you had this levitation power and you'd have to levitate and jump and just barely make some of these jumps. Oh man, it drove me nuts. We tried and tried, never could beat that stupid game.
All right, so I was listening to that, and at the same time, I did just YouTube Back to the Future NES slow.
Yeah?
And there definitely is a side-by-side with that song Slow Down and Power of Love.
So it's a real thing?
It appears that it is a real thing.
Well, there you go. I'll have to Google that
We'll
later.
put that in the show notes.
Okay. Interesting. All right, good. All right. One last question in this segment. It's like I told you, we had a lot of them this time around. Our own Highwind from RFG wants to know, what do you guys think about the Hitman series? And then he says, blood money and contracts are highly recommended, with an exclamation point on the end.
So when he says blood money, I've heard of blood money. Is Hitman Contracts a game?
I'm assuming so.
I'm assuming so too. I'm not familiar. Maybe it's the new one that's
Well, let me answer mine on this really quickly. I've never played a Hitman game. I don't know.
Well, that's not what he asked.
Well, what do you think about the series?
Yeah, what do you think about the series?
It's a bald guy that kills people.
Yeah, but the series includes the movies, right?
I didn't see the movie either.
Oh, you got to see that movie.
Not really.
I'm a big Timothy Olyphant fan.
Really?
And that Timothy Olyphant Hitman movie was good.
Okay, if you say so.
I do. And you got to do the do.
I don't.
No, so the Hitman series, this is one of those series that, it's one of those things that it's been around forever, and they keep making them, so somebody's playing these games.
Somebody's buying them.
I don't know who it is.
It's not you?
It's not me. I've never played a Hitman game, but I will tell you, I've heard the same thing from several people, that Blood Money is awesome. And I purchased it on a Steam sale, and it is sitting there for me whenever I find the time to give it a go. But I'm glad that we have a representative of the Hitman franchise on RFG.
Well, there you go.
And I believe that there is nudity in the movie, so double trouble.
What?
Chris loves this series now.
I'll just watch the good parts on the internet.
There you go.
Well, thanks everybody for the questions. Be curious to hear what your guys' answers are to some of those. So hop on Facebook, hop on Twitter, and let us know, and keep those questions coming. All right, so for this episode, we wanted to round things out with a topic that was given to us in a suggestion thread over at rfgeneration.com. And if you have suggestions for a show topic that you'd like, you can send them to us in social media or over on rfgeneration.com. We've got a thread for show suggestions there. But the suggestion was to talk about games that we kind of just gave up on at some point in time.
Well, specifically, it was games we stopped playing.
Yes.
And because I have games that I've stopped playing for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. Some that I wish to go back to, some that I have no desire to go back to. So I thought it'd be a good little variety list to talk about.
Yeah, so we've each pulled up about 5 games or so that are kind of on our list, and I guess we can talk about why they fell off our pile. But do you want to go first, Bill?
Yeah, sure.
What you got?
I'll start off with one that I've talked about before. Okay. Just get it out of the way. Destiny.
Oh, yeah, because you were not thrilled, but you were super pumped about Destiny.
Super pumped about Destiny. I didn't care about it at all. Like the whole, it was announced. They talked about it. I was like, I don't know. It just sounds like a shooter.
Yeah, you're like, Chris, are you getting this game?
Yeah. Oh man, I tried to convince everyone to buy it before it came out. Well, because what happened was like the open beta came out, and then I downloaded it. I played it for like an hour, and I was like, I mean, it feels all right, but like I guess we'll see. And then just for some reason, like I turned it back on again the second day of the beta. I was like, I'll play for a little bit longer. I played for like 2 or 3 more hours, and I was like, sold. I got this thing. I was like, this is great. It felt like Borderlands and Halo to me. It felt like the progression of Borderlands, like the leveling up, the picking of the perks, but like it had this very serious sci-fi space theme to it, as opposed to like a very, humor filled, landscape that's Borderlands is made of. So I was totally sold, and I pre-ordered the game digitally at the time because I had a ton of Bing dollars. Mm-hmm. Through the Microsoft, the Bing reward program. So I pre-ordered digitally the standard version, not the deluxe or the season pass or anything. And it came out, and I played it. And the first day I played it, I was still on board with it. This is cool. This is great. This is going to be good. And then the more I played, the more I started realizing I really actually didn't like it at all.
Oh.
Like, I liked because everything I played, I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, I was excited because of where it was going. Because of, okay, so there's going to be leveling up, and there's going to be missions, and there's going to be story. And I started playing through like 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 like missions, and I was like, there is no story. there is no progression. I'm shooting the same enemy just a whole bunch of times over and over again. There are no different weapons. Like, all the weapons are the same. They just do more damage when you find one that does more damage. You just like loot. It's not like in Borderlands where it's like, oh, this gun could be awesome, but it's only this, and oh, it's this type of gun. I know that brand. It was just the new sniper rifle is just a stronger sniper rifle, and oh, you don't like that? You can just disintegrate it, and it becomes space dust, and you can spend space dust on buying things from this guy. Oh, but he has different stuff every 3 days, and it's random, and you gotta go on raids. And I was like, oh, it's a freaking MMO that no one told me it's just a great big MMO.
Whoops.
So, I know the game is very, very popular with people who like exactly what the game is.
Yeah.
I just had a very false impression of what it was. It was probably my fault. I got overexcited about it. I tried going back to it a couple times, but the more I talk to people who are like really into it and are at the end game and like go on raids every couple of days and buy stuff in it all the time, it is absolutely the opposite of the experience that I want to have when I sit down and play a game. So I will not be going back to it. No desire. Happy for everyone who likes it. It's 100% not what I want.
It seems to be. I mean, I've got one friend that plays it pretty regularly. He's got a group or a clan or whatever you call those. And so they do raids like every whatever night, and all get together a certain scheduled time. And it sounds like a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and there are games, because I've been in clans before, like Counter-Strike years ago, and it didn't feel, it was a clan, but it didn't feel like a job. It just felt, hey, we're meeting up on Friday night, we're going to have some beers at all our respective houses, and we're just going to, play counter-terrorist versus terrorist for a couple hours. And it was fun. You played in the same team, and you just played a bit. It was like, oh, okay, just playing this game is fun. Now let's go on and do something else. Like Borderlands. Like, just playing Borderlands is fun. Just playing Destiny isn't fun. You're playing it to obtain more stuff so that you can be a stronger Destiny player. But the playing of the game is never fun to me. So yeah, I mean, same thing. A good friend of mine is in a regular group, plays it all, and I was teasing him the other day. I said, you buy the guy who you have to buy stuff from at like the central system that you always go back to get more missions and stuff. His name is Zur. And so I texted him like, hey, you buy anything from Zur this weekend? And he was like, oh, yeah, totally. We did a couple good raids, and we just like, oh, no.
I was just joking.
No, I was joking. Did you actually buy stuff? Here, I'll pull up the text right now. I said, any good sales at Zur this weekend? He said, yeah, he had a MIDI multi-tool and a good Warlock helm.
Oh, he was totally, yeah.
Yeah, I drained my whole account. Just did 2 raids on normal, got some good gear. It's like, no.
I really wanted to come back and go, no, that's stupid.
No, you're wrong. But yeah, so and I know people on RFGen and places we hang out, like, some people are really into it. I was super hot on it. I will not be going back to it. It's absolutely not what I want in a game.
Yeah, I don't. I had some friends that really, besides you, that also tried to really talk me into it, and I was just flat out no. That's one thing I'm really happy for these days. I love Twitch because I can watch so many games and go, nope, that's not for me at all. I was describing Twitch to someone the other day who had never heard of it before. Oh, yeah.
And I kind of described the different ways that I use it, and I said one of the ways is if you're just, a lot of times I'm just browsing the marketplace to see like what games are out there. And instead of having to go to YouTube and like try to sift through some videos, I can just right on the page for the game right there, just start watching someone who's playing it right now and say, oh, that's what playing this game is like. Yeah,
and you can kind of watch however much of it that you want. And that's what I did when they did that, whenever that beta was out for Destiny. I'm like, oh, I could download it, but or I can just watch somebody else play it. I watched a few minutes of it. I'm like, this is totally not for me. but thanks.
Right.
So yeah, I love Twitch for that. Sorry you got suckered into Destiny, but at least you didn't have to pay any real bucks for it. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's how I kind of not justify, but it's how I make myself feel better about it. Is that it wasn't like money that came out of my paycheck that went to that. It was like it was space dollars. But I will be more careful in the future, and it's why I rarely, even if I love the game, I rarely get the season pass before I know not only what that season pass has, but how good the content in that season pass is. I've been burned on season passes where you buy them before you know what the content is, and it's like, oh, it's 8 multiplayer weapon packs and maps.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all I cared about was single player campaign content. How much of that is there? Oh, there isn't any.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, my first one is Hyperdimension Neptunia on the PlayStation 3.
I was just thinking about that game the other day.
Were you?
Yeah.
I brought that into your head.
I honestly don't know. I was like, looking at my collection. I was like kind of organizing some stuff, and for some reason, I don't own the game, but Hyperdimension Neptunia popped into my head, and I was like, I wonder if I should play that.
I wish I could recommend it more.
So tell me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I picked it up because it was told it has some traditional kind of RPG trappings to it.
Okay. Who told you these things?
I read a little blog post on RFG about it.
Okay. That's probably why it was in my head. That's where I saw it.
Maybe. It has been a while back. But and a lot of people have picked it up and posted in small scores or whatnot. So I went and picked it up. And the first one was kind of hard to find at the time because it didn't, I guess they didn't make a lot of copies of it initially. And so I had to really work to track down a copy. And then since then, it must have done pretty well because they've sold like 1 million different games now. There's a bunch of them in the series. Part of it, you kind of like get the creepy old man syndrome because it's got that moe anime style where it's like, oh, these really young girls that are probably a little too sexy. And I feel kind of...
There's a word for that style?
Moe, yes, there is. Like
Moe?
Moe, M-O-E. It's kind of a... like girls that are too young and they're kind of way too sexy and kind of anime kind of thing. Wouldn't
you think there'd be like a regulation?
We live in the land of the free, Bill, where people can buy what they want. But stuff's popular in Japan. Certain things are popular. And I think this might be the kind of thing that's popular.
So just for my clarity, would Akiba's Trip be that style?
I haven't played that game, but I'm guessing similar.
Okay.
That seems to be kind of a thing where very scantily clad. That's fine. Right. I'm not trying. If you want to, I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing. If it's something you want to do, it's fine. Right. But it's kind of like, okay, well, I can't really. I couldn't play this game in front of anybody at my house.
Right.
Not that it was like showed anything totally inappropriate. It's just people would look at me and go like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You went to a store and paid money for this.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I wouldn't have cared, though, if the battle mechanics, which is a big thing for me in RPGs, had been good. But I got into it and I really just didn't like it at all. It just, it was kind of a turn-based sort of thing, which I usually really dig, but it was kind of flat and not terribly interesting and just really kind of not what I wanted. So I played through a lot. The kind of fun thing about that game that I really kind of got me to want to try to play it, besides being like an RPG with, turn-based kind of stuff, was like the characters, the girls that are in the game are to represent like different systems, like Sega, and Sony and Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah. So they're kind of like embodiments of what these companies, and this world they're in is like this game industry world, and there's a lot of game puns that are in there, so like they're trying to pack a packing truck and it's like Tetris block sort of thing, and yes, there's a lot of those kind of in jokes about video games and the video game industry, which appeals to me, but the mechanics of it just kind of didn't do anything for me. I just couldn't stick with it. Probably put, I'm guessing like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I was like, not for me. I unfortunately also already bought the second one, which I've never played yet because the first one didn't do anything for me, and they've made a million of them since then. Not literally, but I think it was just kind of like, I think I've got what I wanted. I'm good. So
Is this? I think I heard that they announced like a remake for the Vita.
probably there's a bunch of them now. There's like quite a few sequels, handheld sequels, and it must sell pretty well.
So let me ask you. You mentioned before that you'd kind of heard like you enjoy RPG, turn-based RPG type things.
Yeah.
What were you kind of hoping? Is there something in the genre with this similar art style that you thought it would be more like?
No, I just heard turn-based Japanese RPG and game industry humor, and I thought this is going to be great, right?
Right.
But the mechanics just weren't enough to keep me with it. And I'm like,
Okay.
I looked at it, I'm like, I probably can't do 60 hours of this. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I sit on my shelf. Yeah. Maybe one day something will happen to change my mind, but probably not.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. What you got next?
I guess I'll just go right down the list in no particular order. Krabby would be upset with me with this one. I am a very big Hironobu Sakaguchi fan. And when I say that, I'm talking specifically about Final Fantasy X, but also he's done some other fine RPGs. So I was very excited to, once the last story was confirmed to come out in this country, so I wouldn't have to import it or be weird or anything like that. So I purchased it for a very fair price. I think it came out here for like $30, whatever it was. The artwork looked good. I mean, I've said this before. I try to silo myself. I try not to know a whole lot about games before they come out. Like to be surprised, like to, just have the story hit me, like, out of nowhere. That's what I did with the Lost Odyssey, Lost Odyssey rather, and it's one of my absolute favorite game experiences, partially because it is so good, but also because I really think I was just super fresh going in. So that's kind of how I am. So I trusted Sakaguchi. And Krabby and I've told Krabby my troubles with this game, the things about it that I don't like, the things about it that just don't appeal to me. And he keeps telling me like, oh no, like it's really good. You gotta get out of that town. You gotta get forward. You gotta keep moving. And to be fair, a lot of RPGs are like that. You're like, you gotta get out of like Tutorialville, USA.
Yeah.
But it's
couldn't do it, huh?
When you spend like a good amount of time, like 7 to 10 hours on a game, and then you stop playing it forever, and then it's been like over a year. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I can't just go back to where I was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start this game over again.
Right.
Do I really want to put like 20 hours into this game before I really know if I want to keep playing it? So unfortunately, it's sitting on my shelf. I stopped playing it. I really don't know if I'll go back to it. I can't put my finger on one particular thing about it that I didn't like. I just remember it's a Wii game, obviously, so I have my little Pro controller that you plug into the bottom of the Wiimote, and I remember playing it and feeling that it didn't feel responsive at all. Like, I would hit the analog stick, and then it would be like a short delay till when my input actually went in. I thought my batteries were dying. I put fresh batteries in, same thing happens.
Ew.
He doesn't. I told him that, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't get that on my controller at all." I don't know if my controller's bad, but that was the first thing that bugged me. The second thing is the town that I'm in, and which he says that I have to get out of, this like kind of like introductory town. I mean, it's the Wii, so you got to remember it's standard definition. There's not a whole lot of like great graphics power going on in there, but like every building's the same color, and every alleyway is the same, and like the map's not very good, and like you have to go all over this city to like get mini quests and be talking with people and do stuff. And you go into a dialogue box, and you come out of a dialogue box, like, where the hell am I? Like, it's there's nothing that signifies anything, and I don't like it. It's when I say it out loud, it sounds very nitpicky, but I just remember sitting down and playing it, like, sitting down in my favorite chair, getting some snacks, playing this game, and being like, what am I doing? Like the combat wasn't like there was only a little bit of combat in the beginning of it when it's kind of teaching you how to play, but that wasn't fun. Like the story, it wasn't really getting to me. I died a whole lot, and I was like, why did I die? There's no reason I should have died right there. I had like full health. So yeah, just like nothing about it really rubbed me the right way. And, I don't mean to poo on it because like I know a lot of people do like the game. But it just didn't click with me, which was a real shame because I was looking forward to it for a long time. Just not for me, I guess.
I hear you. My copy's still sealed.
Yeah. Were you planning on playing it, or did you want to play it? Because I'll mail you my copy.
Initially, I kind of did, but Twitch is a double-edged sword, and since I've done it, you just go watch people play, and I'm kind of like, I don't see much that wants me to open that.
Right.
Which is sad because I kind of bought it. These days, I can be more savvy. That was before I would start watching things beforehand, but
right.
These days, if I don't know the game too well, I don't mind watching a stream or something for a little bit, kind of get my head around it.
Right.
But it's okay. One of these days, that'll be worth something, right? Maybe. Maybe. I'll get it VGA graded. It'll be worth a ton.
Yeah.
Send my kids to college. It's
state college.
Yeah. Didn't he organize a playthrough of that?
He did. That's actually when I was playing it, because I had purchased it, and I can't remember if I purchased it around the time of the playthrough or if the playthrough was coming up, and I was like, oh, this is perfect, and that was when I was playing, and like so in that thread, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a downer or anything, but like I'm noticing some things I don't like about it, and the control isn't great, and this and this. And I remember speaking with Krabby about it, and he was like, yeah, I really don't get any of that. I wonder, what, I guess we just feel like his control wasn't a problem, and he just didn't feel, kind of the negative things that I felt about the game. And I know it's a really weird thing to complain about with JRPGs when they feel too grindy.
That is the game.
it is, but like I do feel like we've come a ways since the grindy times. Like I know there's people who say, okay, if I want to become as powerful as I want to be, why can't I just grind for a while and become that? And so you should be able to do that. But I don't like games that require you to grind for hours.
Yeah, I can see that.
To get by, I can't beat that mini boss. Why? Because you need to 4 level ups. Okay, well I gotta go fight bunnies for 6 hours so I can get 4 level ups.
It's old school, man.
Yeah, it seems a little antiquated. And I know that's part of the charm of old school JRPGs. Yep. But in 2015, there's so many things you can spend your your time on, and I just don't I feel like grinding was a way to artificially increase the length of a game, but who cares? Make the time you're playing it better.
Yeah, I think Bravely Default kind of struck the right balance for me. Is the grindy stuff is still in there, but there's a way you can speed the battle system way up. So if you don't want it to take a lot of time, it doesn't have to.
That's been on my list for quite a while, and now that I have finally acquired a respectable large screen 3DS, that's going to be closer on my list. I think maybe this year I'll play it.
Yeah, that new 3DS is purdy.
Oh man, and I'm playing a Zelda game on it, but it's not the Zelda game that it's themed after.
They're playing the original Ocarina?
I'm playing Link's Awakening.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty pixelated, I'm sure, on that big screen.
You know what? It's actually not that bad because it's the DX version.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it doesn't because when you pull up Metroid 2 Return to Samus, that doesn't look very good on that screen. But Link's Awakening doesn't look bad. I'll have some thoughts on that once I've played more. I'm 3 dungeons in, and I've never played it before. It's good.
It's been so long since I played that game, I barely remember anything about it.
Yeah.
Up next on mine, I've got one that's probably going to be surprising, but the reason why I didn't finish it's going to be a little different. I gave up on Morrowind.
Oh, interesting.
I never finished Morrowind, and it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to finish Morrowind.
Someone stole your memory card?
No, the Xbox version was incredibly buggy.
Okay.
Incredibly buggy. And I twice tried to play through it, and I would get like 40 hours into that game, and then something would happen where it wouldn't like literally like kill my save, but the game would be screwed up, and even when I would restart, the script would still be there, like locked into my save. So there was nothing I could do. Like there wasn't anything I could do about it. And I thought first time I was really ticked me off, and I'm like, okay, fine. I'll start over. And dang it if it didn't happen again. And then I was like, forget it. I'm never touching this stupid game again. But I really enjoyed playing it, which was so frustrating to me.
It's funny. I have a similar story to that, so we'll finish this one up. But it's funny that that's the kind of the way that worked.
And I think what the problem, honestly, I think probably what it centered around was, in those games you can pick up anything. Like it will let you pick up like knives and forks off of a table if you want to.
Yeah.
But then if you move them somewhere else, the game has to store all that information. And I think,
I ran into a similar thing with Skyrim with like a weird corrupt save, and the more I looked into it, it was like the tables that the game creates with all these, like the longer the game gets, because like you have like save files that were like 3 and 4 gigabytes, and it's like, why is my save file 4 gigabytes? Well, because every time you do something, it has to save that information.
Yeah, and that's what I think happened on that old Xbox version is just it couldn't.
Yeah.
And it just got corrupted, and I could never finish the stupid game.
You had like a SQL database on your original Xbox.
Seriously. Oh, it drive. And I tried so many different things. Like I would try let me transfer my save to a memory unit, see if that would help. Right. I started just saving my game on the memory unit. Didn't help.
You tried the Dex drive?
No, I didn't.
What about the X band?
Right. Yeah. I'll plug that. Plug that in the cart slot.
You get these zip disks?
Right.
Get your Jazz drive?
Right. Oh my gosh. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because I actually enjoyed the game. I mean, it's Elder Scrolls, if you like. It was really wacky though, because that one you could, had the fly spell, and you could fly around, and you probably weren't meant to do that everywhere. So you can tell exactly why they took that away, like in Oblivion, because you could really screw the game around in certain cases. And the enchantment system was really screwed up in that game as well. You could basically do like unlimited enchants on about anything if you did it just the right way, and it was a bug-ridden mess. I liked it. I wish I could have finished it.
It was it's one of the first Elder Scrolls game I played was Oblivion, but I didn't really get it, and I didn't have the patience to stick with it, and I didn't ever look up like videos and tutorials and stuff how to do it, so I never got into it. I had my father-in-law show me Fallout 3, like he sat with me and he showed me Fallout 3. So then once I was like, oh, that's how all these systems intertwine together. Then I went back and played Oblivion again all the way through. And I was like, oh, this is so much better than I thought it was, because now I understand. And I'd considered going back and playing Morrowind, but I was like, that might be a little bit too far back for me to really enjoy. So I just went forward to Skyrim from there.
I think you'd still enjoy it. It's enough of the same thing. I'm going to imagine a PC version would be it's probably patched to death by now, or at least.
Yeah, I'm sure I own it on PC, because I'm sure there was a sale at some point, and probably for $2 I picked it up. So,
or the modding community has probably fixed any problems with it a long time ago. Right,
and they probably upgraded textures and all sorts of crazy stuff.
I think you would still enjoy it. It is the same if you like Oblivion and Skyrim, you would like Morrowind.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
If I had a copy that would work properly, I would play through it.
Maybe we'll play it in October. We'll just marathon it.
Oh gosh, I would like to see it anyway. I would like to see it. Oh, but that's me. Oh god. So you had some other buggy problem on a game?
Yes, and it is funny that you mention, a Bethesda game.
Oh, no.
So related to that, one of my favorite games of all time, like two of my favorite games of all time, Fallout 3 and Skyrim. But before Skyrim came out, I might have even said Fallout 3, might have been my favorite game all time. Top 3, maybe.
That was good.
love Fallout 3. So I was naturally very excited when Fallout New Vegas was announced, and I was working at Best Buy at the time.
We're going to talk about the flippy head. Go for it.
We're going to talk about the flippy head. So I was working at Best Buy at the time, and we had like the cardboard stand up with like the dude with the mask and holding up the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be like, like cowboys, and it's gonna be all these Western landmark. It's gonna be the Fallout of the West. It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So bought the game. I ended up buying it on 360. I wasn't like, I kind of go in phases. Like I'll go on console, then I'll go on PC, then back to console. So I just happened to be on a console swing at the time. Or maybe it was a little bit of Krabby syndrome where I already had Fallout 3 on the 360.
Yeah.
And I also, when they came out with the DLC, you know how they came out with the physical version as well?
Yep.
So I had like the Pit / what was the other one? It was like the Pit / Broken Steel. And it was like Mothership Zeta.
Yep.
Like they made physical versions of each of those. So I had my Fallout 3 and I had like 4 other physical discs for the DLC. So I was like, well, I gotta have New Vegas sitting next to that stuff so it all looks right. So
back before like, Game of the Year editions. And
exactly, yeah, back before GOTA. So game, comes out. I buy it. It was like October of whatever year it was, and fire it up, and at first it's just okay, great. This is just Fallout. It's Fallout. It's just more Fallout. This is great. The HUD is yellow because I'm in Vegas now, but that's totally fine. I can change it back if I want. So you start, learning all about New Vegas and you start exploring and everything's good. I probably get like 8 to 10 hours into it, which isn't the end of, it's not a huge amount. It's a decent chunk of change. And I have like a robot with me.
Yep.
The companion.
Yeah. The beginning. Yeah. First town.
Yeah. So I have a robot with me. And I have like a handful of side quests, and I have like a main story mission, and that are like all active right now. So I walk in this lady's house, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna take you in the back, and I'm gonna show you some things." So like I walk through this door, and like the woman's not there, and she just falls from the sky, and then the robot dies. And then she's not dead, but then wolves show up out of nowhere and kill her. And I just remember thinking, what in the hell just happened? And like, on the top when like you fail a quest.
Yeah.
And it was like, meow, fail, 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 fail.
You're like, no.
Fail. I was like, is it telling me I failed the same thing 15 times? It was like, no, you failed every quest that you were just holding on to because they relied on these 2 people. And I didn't have any previous save files.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, okay, it really, like, I could keep going, but I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to just kill, like, these 2 characters and a whole bunch of these story quests. And, like, I wanted to, complete everything. So, for a while, I just struggled with, like, do I want to start this game over again? Because even though it was more Fallout, I actually wasn't enjoying it as much as Fallout 3, and I couldn't tell you exactly why. I don't know if it was setting. I don't know if it was because I feel more comfortable like out in the East because I'm from here. I don't know what it was, but I did not like Fallout New Vegas as much as Fallout 3, even before it broke on me. And it should be mentioned just, for clarification, Fallout New Vegas was not made by the same team that made Fallout 3.
It was Obsidian, wasn't it?
Right. Obsidian did the dev on it, which they have kind of a reputation for having very buggy releases.
Yeah, because Bethesda's perfect track record.
So it didn't really bode well that the game didn't really work very well out the gate, and it was the PC version too had lots of problems. So anyway, I ended up, I don't know, like, because it was October, right? So November is right after October, so a billion games probably came out the month after. So I was like, well, let me play some of this other stuff and I'll figure out what to do with New Vegas later. And I just never went back to it. And recently, like, earlier this year...
Yeah, I thought you had said something about going back to it.
I went back to New Vegas. I started over. I said, whatever, I'm going to start it. It's going to feel fresh. It's going to be great. And I got not even as far as I got the last time. and I just wasn't feeling the same love that I felt for Fallout 3 and Skyrim, so I didn't make a conscious decision to stop playing it. I just didn't go back because I wasn't having fun.
I think we've talked about this far. That still surprised me. I played both of them all the way through, and I really enjoyed both of them a whole lot. So
yeah, and I've have multiple friends who say Vegas is the better game.
I think so.
And I have multiple friends who say like, no, you're right. Fallout 3 is the game. So it's
3 is really good. It is really.
I know
good.
I've said this with every game that I think I've mentioned so far. I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think it's just, one of those things like, not every game's for everybody.
Yeah.
And it definitely got its fair share of, it got its, amount of time on the table. It just didn't end up working out for me, the 2 or 3 times that I ended up restarting this game. So I'm not sure it's actually going to get all that more attention from me.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, it's more of the same sort of stuff. So either you're digging it or you're not feeling it. So
yeah, so it's like if I don't go back to that, the next Fallout I play is going to be Fallout 4, which I'm really surprised hasn't been announced
start
yet.
holding your breath, man.
I'm going to say
Half-Life 3 and Fallout 4 come out at the same time, right?
No. I'm going to say Fallout 4 gets announced this year. If it doesn't get announced this year, then I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the works somewhere, right? It and The Last Guardian in the
along
works.
with the next Wii hardware title.
That's right. I'm still surprised. Always surprised by that one when you say that. But maybe one of these days, you'll probably never get around to it. There's so much to play.
I know I probably won't.
Probably won't.
You know what I'd be playing right now if we weren't recording this?
What?
Not Fallout New Vegas.
You
know what I mean? And it's nothing against that. Like at the moment, I finished the campaign for Sunset Overdrive, which I love this game. Now that I finished the campaign, I'm going to go to something else, and then I'll come back and I'll do cleanup later. I started Shadow of Mordor. I'm like maybe 2 hours into it, and it's good so far.
I watched my friend play that, and I just no desire.
Yeah, it's weird because on the surface it seems so similar. It seems like a cross between Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and it has like you can't even say it has like Batman-esque combat. The combat is Arkham City, Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, it looks very scripted.
Yeah, and then something about it, like it doesn't have me 100% yet. Like I'm in. I get what they're trying to do. I need to play a little bit more to kind of make up my mind. But you know how I told you, like with Sunset Overdrive even, it took me like 3-4 hours to like get it.
Yep.
And once I got it, I was like, oh, this is life-changing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it some time, but yeah, it doesn't have me yet.
I'll be curious. I've got a lot of friends that really like it. Liked it. Just didn't look like appealing to me. But then again, I'm not Lord of the Rings, so even the lore doesn't bring me into anything. So
Gotcha.
Didn't do it for me. Next on my list, this is one that surprises even me. But I never finished 3D Dot Game Heroes.
I think I remember you talking about this either in like the group chat or with Krabby, because he loves that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically Zelda. It's a Zelda game.
So why do you hate Zelda?
I don't hate Zelda. That's the thing.
Why do you hate all Zelda games?
Because I'm a jerk. I don't know. I played really far into this one. I got pretty far, all the way up to this fire temple. And for some reason, it was frustrating to me. And I put it down, and I just never bothered to go back. Which is strange though. I mean, the game is pretty much if you think of like original Legend of Zelda, with a little bit of the stuff from the later games, with a modern take on it. Modern display. That's pretty much what you're playing. You've got some crazy weapons that are part of it. Like when you have your full health, you have these gigantic swords that go like ridiculously across the screen. And I had a lot of fun with it. I played through, I would guess, probably 4 or 5 dungeons. All of them seem to have like a pretty decent, you know how kind of like Zelda games, like every dungeon just throws a little bit more at you and a little bit more at you, and they kind of have this steady progression of difficulty. And I just hit this fire one, and I was like, this just sucks. I'm like, it's not like anymore like, oh, this is a little harder. No, it just sucked. And I'm like, I don't want to do this 500 times. It's not entertaining enough to me. I got really frustrated with it at the time, and I don't know, maybe I was just kind of burned out at the moment. I think I was probably over halfway through the game. I had done a lot with it, and I'd enjoyed the whole thing up to then, but once I got to that point, I was just like this saturation of like, I don't need more of this, and this is really just kind of ticking me off, and I just don't want to anymore.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So since it's not an older game, since a fairly new game, since you made the decision that like, I don't like this is not for me, did you get rid of the game?
No.
Will you?
No.
Okay. Any reason why, since you don't like it? I like the pictures.
It's got a lot of charm to it.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely, yeah.
And someday I might. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, I could get like $2 from GameStop. Why?
Yeah.
I'll keep it on the shelf.
Right.
Maybe I decide I want to play it again someday. Maybe a friend wants to borrow it. It's like, it's not worth anything to trade in. Why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just better sitting on the shelf. Looks pretty.
It does look pretty. It is nice art.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll change my mind. And I like some FromSoft games. Then they did that one, but I don't know. I don't know why.
From did it?
Yeah, FromSoft did that.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So is it from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So this was I think the next big game after this would have been Demon's Souls.
Right.
And that's when they've kind of got locked into those sort of things. Of course, they still do like Armored Core and some of those other games, but yeah, I think that, and it was a big nostalgia fest. I really enjoyed it for what it was, because you definitely felt like, oh, I'm playing NES Zelda, but pumped up with the addition of like the hook shot and some things. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to try to hide it. No, it's like, okay, you knew what you were doing. They knew what they were doing. Right. They did what Nintendo didn't do, was make another Zelda game until Zelda did the recent 3DS game where they decided to go back to it, I guess.
Nice.
That's it. 3D Dot Game Heroes.
They did what Nintendo didn't.
Yeah. I should have liked the whole thing, I think, more than I did. I'm kind of surprised I gave up on it, but I did. So there you go.
There you go.
What you got next for me, Bill?
All right, I got one more big one, and then I have an honorary mention.
Okay.
So my one more big one is a game that I really like, and that I stopped playing not because I didn't want to play it anymore, but for financial reasons.
Okay.
So
I
purchased a first run brand new copy of Xenoblade Chronicles at its GameStop release.
Okay.
And I started playing this game, and I loved it.
I remember you saying how much you loved that game.
I love this game, and for a game that the visuals aren't very good at all. And when I say the visuals aren't very good, I mean they are bad. It's not like they're passable. Like this game looks worse than PlayStation 1 games.
Oh wow.
Like really bad, but
not even one GameCube duct tape together.
No, yeah, one of them, the duct tape, it wasn't transmitting the power properly on this game, but barring, even considering that, it was still a fantastically fun, still very playable, if not very good looking role-playing game. And like you said with Bravely Default, very good balance of grind versus, just being able to play. Mm-hmm. Tons of side missions, stuff that you actually care about, that you could do, stuff that you don't care about that you can put off to the side. really, really well thought out character association maps. Like every character in the game, there was this big screen, and it was kind of like organized geographically. So it wasn't just like, oh, here are your heroes and here are your side characters, here are your main. So it was like, oh, here, like people that you met in this town, they're in this little group. And there'd be little lines connecting everyone who knew each other. And then when you started meeting other people in other towns, that you would see lines connecting to people in other towns. You're like, oh, that guy's that barber's, the baker's brother's son-in-law. Oh,
so like a giant family tree or something?
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I should talk to that guy. And then you talk to that guy and he's like, oh, yeah, you know my barber cousin at the blacksmith shop? Oh, he's a kidder. And you go back to that blacksmith shop and he's like, oh, you know him? Here, give him this letter for me. Huh. And it just happens to be stuff that you're doing like as you're doing that stuff anyway. And like you get intel that way, you get like money that way, you find out about new jobs that way. It's just like living in it's like a lot of RPGs, you just follow what they tell you to do and you grind it and it's good. You just feel like you're living in this world and you're just like doing these things because they make sense.
Huh.
And like when and I know it's kind of skipping, generations and jumping and everything, but when you look at footage of Final Fantasy 15, I know not everyone's into it, but it just looks like great big wide open, like sprawling grasslands. Mm-hmm. That's what this entire game looks like. And you're actually on two enormous, like beings, like gods that were fighting and like they're locked in this eternal battle. And that's what the whole game takes place on, which gives you an idea of how big those guys were since there's like grasslands on them. And so like sometimes when you're outside and like you kind of like look up in the distance, you see like that you're actually on the sword, because in the horizon you see like the hilt of the sword and then you see like the rest of the guy's like blade going off someplace. It's just so interesting and so cool and so great. Now, okay, get to the point, Bill. Why'd you stop playing it? I knew that the game was, it was going up in value. And I said, okay, I think this is the bubble. So
you're playing that game, huh?
I want to sell at the top of the bubble because I know I can't put the 120 something hours that all the reviews were telling me that it would last. And it was great. So I said, okay, I'm going to sell at the top of the bubble. So I threw it on Craigslist for like $200. And this guy calls me up and says, hey, I'll meet you at the pizza parlor around the street.
Holy crap, you're kidding.
And he meets me there and he gets out of it and he's driving a real nice car. And he gets out and he's wearing like, deck shoes and shorts and, the guy had a few bucks. And I was like, hey, so here it is. You can look at it. And I showed him the bottom of the disc and everything. And he's like, oh, no, yeah, my son, he's been, he's hadn't been able to find it. And we don't trust eBay because blah, blah, blah. And he just, took out the cash, gave it to me. So I was like, oh, cool.
Crazy.
So it's one of those things that it doesn't matter to me if I have an original run or, second run or borrow a copy later. But I got my, I upsold. I got my dollars for my, for my flip. And I figured, oh, yeah, I'll grab it at some point and then I'll keep playing it. And that has not happened yet. So I figured it'd be nice to throw one on there that it's a game I stopped playing. But it's not because I didn't want to stop playing it. I just, I wanted the bubble I wanted the benefit of the bubble. But when you play that game, sometimes you don't have the game anymore.
I think you made out pretty well. You sold pretty well.
Yeah, I made a few bucks. I found out that I liked the game a lot. I still have the save file on my system. So, and it got me really excited about Xenoblade for the 3DS.
Now that's a remake of the Wii game, right?
I believe so. So that might be the where I end up continuing to play it. I did put a good dozen or so hours into it, so I might have to restart. I don't think they'll let you take the save file unless they talk about that and I didn't hear it. I
don't think so. But
yeah, I doubt it.
But so that 3DS you've got is a new 3DS. Is
Correct.
that?
Correct. Okay, it is the Majora's Mask new 3DS that I have because that's exclusive to the new.
God, so much crap to memorize with them. It's not just, I got a new 3DS. No, did you get a new 3DS?
Yeah. No, we're talking about that. Like someone will come back with a game and say, hey, this doesn't work on my kid's 3DS. Oh, it only works on the new 3DS. No, yeah, we bought it new.
Yeah.
It was not a pre-owned. It wasn't a pre-owned system. It's a brand new. He just got it. No.
Right. Did it have the sparkly new word on the cover?
Yeah, parents don't stand a chance.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Jeez. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't blame you. My copy's still sealed, sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, between that and the last story, so I got, 2 of the Project Raindrops or Rainfall games on my list there. That's one that I would encourage you, unless you were trying to flip it at some point. Definitely really good game.
It's sealed at this point. I'll probably just leave it there.
It is sealed. You probably will leave it, you weirdo.
Yeah. I never got Pandora's Tower. That was the third of that set. And it's cheap. I should just get it.
Yeah, that's the one that I actually, forgetting all the Project Rainfall stuff, like, it looks the least interesting to me.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Sakaguchi with the last story, Xenoblade obviously being the amazing thing that it is. Pandora's was the only one that I was always like, just, never had any interest in. But if you have 2 out of 3, why not complete the set?
I think it's pretty cheap too. I think it's pretty cheap now, like $20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Up next, my last probably big one that I'll put out there is Final Fantasy VIII.
Ooh.
Final Fantasy VIII.
Didn't finish it, huh?
No. I'd been at that point in time.
So you have a child named after a character in this game and you didn't finish it?
I do have a child?
Yeah.
Who?
The ultimate summon in Final Fantasy VIII is Eden.
Oh, I didn't play that far. So I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. No, I mean, I'd been a big Final Fantasy fan. I loved 6. 7, I picked up as soon as it came out.
Wait. No, you don't mean 6. You mean 3.
3, 6, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I'm going to go with the decent numbering system now. Not to be snobby, just because it makes sense to me.
Why don't you go with the Dewey Decimal System?
Because I actually have 3. Not 3, 3. I mean, 3, 3, not 3, 6. Anyway.
3 for the DS.
No, 3. Well, and for the Famicom.
Yep.
Anyway, oof. Square. Oh, God.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Obama.
So 7 I went through, and I didn't love 7 as much as probably a lot of other people do, but it wasn't my first, like a lot of people, it was my first big RPG. It wasn't mine.
Right, it wasn't your first rodeo.
No, I like 6 better, but 7's still fine. I enjoyed it, played it. It was a good game. 8, I tried so hard. To really like the game.
And got so far.
But in the end,
it didn't even matter.
Oh,
I was a big defender of 8 when it was, and no one liked it when it came out.
It was so radically different.
And that's the thing. It wasn't that it was good, bad, or whatever. It was 100% U-turn from what 7 was.
Yeah, it's like they just went, we've had this one battle system forever. Screw it. Just screw it. Just let's see what happens if we just throw everything out the window.
Yeah, and the materia system was so amazing.
Yeah, and it was still turn-based.
Yeah.
So you still had fun with that.
Yep.
And I had to always try to I just could never wrap my mind around the whole system because you had...
You mean in 8?
Yeah.
The draw system.
Well, the draw system, I guess I understood that. I learned that at some point. Okay, I can't get spells unless I suck them out of monsters somehow.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Doesn't make sense at all.
But
not only that.
Yeah, I don't want to use them. Use them.
So the thing is, you would think imagine an ability where you can learn a spell. Okay, now you know that spell.
Yeah.
But no, you are taking spells, you're taking physical numbers of spells out of enemies.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
items, basically.
Right. And the thing that then bugged me about that is, okay, I can then link certain skills of my character to these spells, but the more spells you have, the stronger that link is.
So you can't use them.
Right. So now, not only can I not use them, but whenever I find a new spell, oh great, now I'm going to be stuck in this section for 2 hours getting 99 of that spell for each person.
Yep, and you would spend forever in these stupid battles just draw.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a great example. I thought I loved this game because I loved it back when it came out, back when I didn't mind grinding because I didn't have like, a
But
kid and a wife and all
the
this other stuff
grinding
going
made
on.
no sense.
It didn't. And I did it and I defended it because I don't know why. And I recently, when I got my Vita, I put this game on the Vita and I started playing it again. And as soon as I got to like this draw stuff again, I knew it was there because I remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
But I started doing it again and I was like, how did I do this for 80 hours? Like 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, and then you had the summon system with that junctioning stuff.
Yep. Well, you junctioned your guardian forces.
Oh man, and that didn't make any sense to me either.
And then they had an affinity, like the more you use them, the more they like you, so the more effective they were.
Yeah, man.
And then the boost. Do you remember the boost?
Oh, you had to time it. You had to hit the button to time it.
So what happened was if you got the boost ability, then
Dance Dance Revolution took over Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah,
during the summon you held like a shoulder button, and then you had to press a button. But then like it would tell you like, okay, stop pressing the button. And if you pressed it, it would reset the boost.
Uh-huh.
So you could boost your summon up to like a max of 255. The only time you'd ever get it that high is with Eden because it's such a long summon. Even if you mess it up, you can still do it. But yeah, there was a lot of weird things that didn't make sense about it. It's an oddball. It's like a black sheep in the family. I definitely finished it. I definitely thought it was extremely difficult because I know another thing you're not going to like about it. You want to be able to grind and then be super powerful, right?
Yeah, and this game punishes you.
The enemies level with you.
Yeah. Punishes you for grinding.
Yep, makes the enemies harder.
Yeah, everything scales for some ungodly reason in this game.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've heard that you can really break the crap out of this game by never leveling up, and the end boss is like a ridiculous joke.
Right. I've never done that, but I've heard the same thing.
Oh man, why?
And it's funny because when as a young person, when someone said, "What do you think about this game?" I would have said, "Oh, it's great. You get Squall and you got Renoa and you get this great story, and like it's all about these gardens that are like kind of these like schools or like bastions of like like defending like the planet, your country, all this stuff." And then as an older person, someone says, "What do you think about Final Fantasy VIII?" And you say, "Oh man, the mechanics aren't great, the systems aren't great." I feel like when I'm younger, I don't pay attention to that stuff as much, but as I get older, you start looking at all like the granular pieces that put it together. And I really thought I liked this game before I replayed it last year, and I found out that I may have liked it back then, but I do not want to play it anymore.
Yeah, it's just obtuse, just for no. And didn't it have the card game in it?
You know what? I collected those cards.
Oh my!
Like in reality, not in the game.
Oh,
because
really?
they sold physical triple triad cards.
I did not know that.
I had a complete set.
I did not know that. Let me just tell you, Bill, you probably already may guess. I hate card games like those.
So, can you explain the rules if you had to?
No, I forgot them long ago for good reason. You probably could.
It's a very, very simple game. So
they're like numbers on the things.
Right. So every card has a value on the top, bottom, left, and right. So let's say it's, like from clockwise from noon, it's from 12 o'clock, it's 1114. So 4 is like on the 9 o'clock side. If you place that card, if anyone places a card next to that card and the number bordering your card is higher than your card, the card gets flipped over to the other player's color. So basically everyone puts down their cards until there's cards on the whole board, and there can be chain reactions. So if you like flip a card that then in turn flips other cards because now the numbers of your team's color are higher than the other team's color on another border, you flip that card too. So it took a little bit of time to kind of like understand the chain reactions and see them before they happen. But it was cool. I don't know why I bought the cards, probably because I was young and I just had money and I wanted to buy something that said Final Fantasy on it.
Sure.
But yeah, it had Triple Triad was the name of the card game.
Yeah, and there was several of those games that did that with card games in them.
Yeah.
Because 9 had that too, right?
We'll get to 9.
Okay. All right.
Now I gotta
Foreshadowing.
say, can we agree that the music in 8 is fantastic?
Oh, sure. And I
Yeah.
played pretty far into it. I mean, I didn't beat it, but I mean, I would probably say I was well over halfway in the game before I just gave up on it. Because it just got too obtuse and I just didn't want to draw anymore.
Right. I totally understand that.
I just sat down at one point when I just don't want to do this. And I didn't. I stopped. And that was it. But I didn't, I mean, because you had like that whole other like side story about the other guys.
Laguna.
Yeah.
Laguna Loire was his name, and it was
never
weird.
made sense to me. I'm going to guess at some point in time those storylines came together, but they didn't for me. So
yeah, I mean, for a while, you keep popping over to this other guy, and you're like, okay, like, is this me? Is this like a split personality? Like, what the hell is happening? And that's the thing about it, is that part was obtuse enough where even from a person who finished the game, I have no idea what the link was.
Okay.
I mean, granted, it was years ago. It was 1999 or whatever year it was, but I do not remember what the significance of that other character was.
All right, well, I don't feel bad then. I really, yeah.
Can I give you a Final Fantasy VIII spoiler?
Sure. Cypher's a good guy?
He's not good, but he's not as bad as you think that he is.
Oh, okay.
So
I was just guessing.
We already have a spoiler alert out there, so no one can say peep about this. So the like the main bad guy, Edea, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
So she's not the bad guy at all.
Oh. Okay. So like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of twist at the end or something?
Not so twisty, but like, yeah, so the real evil presence in this game is like a sorceress called Ultimecia, and she's controlling Edea.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which is kind of like a trope of Final Fantasy where it's like, oh, the bad guy that you think is the bad guy is not the bad guy.
There's always a god somewhere that you have to kill.
Yeah, there's always someone
you have to go kill a god at the
somewhere.
end.
Yeah. I do remember Ultimecia being extremely difficult to beat because I had leveled up a whole lot, so it made it more difficult. But yeah, so that's just little tidbit for you.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Great music, though. Oh, love it.
Yeah, it was good music, but that's started souring me towards Final Fantasies at that point in time.
Was that the beginning of you giving up on them?
That was the beginning of the fall. There was only one other good one after that really struck my heart, and then, yeah, that's it.
Which one was that?
12.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've talked about you're a Big 12 fan.
Mm-hmm. 9 wasn't bad. 10, I don't like it. Sorry, Bill.
That's okay.
Blitzball.
Nobody's perfect. Is it me again?
It's you. I think you said you had an honorable mention?
Yeah, I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Final Fantasy IX.
I could see that coming.
So, Final Fantasy IX is a game that I was greatly excited to play. I'll make this short. Bought it day one, went home, started playing it. Right away, like, wasn't like super into it, but like, whatever, I'll stay with it. I played it for a while. I don't know how many hours, but I played for a while, and I was like, I don't like it. Like, I just didn't like it. Like, the game at no point would let me play it. You'd walk into a screen, and then you'd see an unskippable cutscene.
There was a lot of story set up early in that game. A lot.
Yeah. And I was like, just let me play the freaking game.
Yeah.
And then you would go into a next screen, and then, it would take control away from you. And then people would walk on the screen, and there'd be a little interaction. It was like, just let me play the game. Okay, I got to a new town. Awesome. Oh, it's the hunt. You have to participate in the hunt. No, I don't want to. I just want to talk to people, figure out some backstory. Oh, I'm hunting things. And, like, so once I finally get out of that, then you're, like, on a ship. Okay, can I just... Nope. You need to talk to... Okay, just let me play the game. The game's like, nope, I don't want to let you play it. Yeah. So I gave up on it. And then years later, I said, I'm going to beat this game. I'm not going to be put off by that. So I started it from the beginning, played the whole, kept playing, insert disc 2, haha, I'm making progress. I kept playing. I still wasn't feeling great about it, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to power through this. And I got to this castle, and it was dark, and I was starting to learn some backstory. And then when I thought I was making some progress, and I was like, I still don't really know anything, there's one screen that came up that I knew I am turning this game off, and I am never turning it on again.
Really?
And that screen is the screen that says, please insert disc 3.
What?
When this game said to me, please insert disc 3, and I looked at that image on the screen, and I thought to myself, I have not had fun with this game yet, and it is asking me to insert disc 3. It is going off forever.
So many people are going to write in and go, but that's just when it gets good.
Yeah, that's just, once you hit disc 17, it really opens up. No, yeah, and I know, like, one of my best friends, Courtney, who also doesn't listen to this show, but I'm not going to say anything bad about her. It's her favorite Final Fantasy, and I know it's Krabby's favorite Final Fantasy. Loves it. And I know a lot of people love it, and I know people love some of the characters in it, and it's almost like they love it, but all the complaints I have about it, they're like, yeah, that's valid, but I defend it still. It's like me defending the craziness of 8.
Yeah, it's, rose-tinted glasses.
Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, that's my honorable mention, Final Fantasy IX. I know I've mentioned it before on the show, but I got to disc 3 on that joint, and it was like, nope, not happening.
I can see it. I mean, I played it, and, I was older enough to kind of realize that, okay, the series is not going always the way I want it to go anymore. So after 8, I was not really jazzed about it, period. But I went, well, they're kind of going back to some of the stuff I like.
Right.
So it was enough for me to play through it. I don't think it's one of the best of the series or anything. It was decent. It had some good parts to it. But, you've got valid arguments. It's,
Yeah. I also think I'm one of the very few people who's still cautiously optimistic about Final Fantasy. As a series,
really?
I think they made a lot of missteps, but I'm still willing to give 15 a chance.
Oh man, bless you. That's all I can say.
Not 10's I've told you this before. 10's by far my favorite.
Yeah. Rose tinted glasses, man.
11 I didn't play. Oh no, I've played it again recently. I still play it on my Vita. It's I still enjoy the hell out of it.
You're the one.
I am the one.
You're the guy that bought the Vita in the U.S.
I did. And what do you call it? So I still play it. It's great. And you know what I did find out that I didn't like as much as I thought I did? This is for another show, though, is Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't dislike.
Oh.
But as I'm replaying it in the HD remix collection, I'm like, oh, wow, rose-tinted. But yeah, so 11 I didn't play. 12 I played 100%, and I enjoyed, not as much as you, but I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
13 I think I liked more than anyone else on the planet, because no one liked it except me.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, so case in point. 13-2...
You played 13-2?
I played 13-2 until, like, the screen before the last boss, and then I didn't finish it.
Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
And then I haven't played Lightning Returns.
Oh, man, why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. I like 13. I'm sorry.
Can you tell me what you like about it?
I can't. I can just tell you that I sat down and I started playing and I just kept going. And you know what I really like in 13, honestly?
Mm-hmm.
I love the battle system.
So many people tell me that, and I love RPG battle systems. I don't like that one at all.
I love the battle system.
And I don't get the whole...
I forget what it's called, where you you're like building up that charge. You know what I mean?
I don't remember. I just remember the paradigms, right?
Well, the paradigm is just like the way you switch, like, you know, like your job function at the time.
Yeah.
But like what you're trying to do is you're trying to like build up this like meter on an enemy. And once it gets like 100%,
you break or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a break, and then you can launch that enemy and cause massive damage.
Yeah.
Now this is especially true of like armored enemies. But what ends up happening is like you're not micromanaging your characters anymore. Like, oh, attack, fire, shield, shield, do that. You're just giving them a job. You're saying, okay, I need you to be my synergy person. I need you to be the medic. I need you to be the commando. So you're really macro managing things. And it was almost like, as a strategy game fan, I was like, okay, great. I don't have to tell that guy every little thing to do. Here's your role. And it wasn't done on a turn-based scale, which would have made it very slow. Sometimes you're changing paradigms like 3 times within the same turn. So it's constant action. And then at the end, like, and the whole time you're fighting this meter and the guy's there. Oh, you gotta switch over to this. Oh, and you gotta heal. You gotta do this. Oh, we won the fight. Like compared with like every other Final Fantasy the last 20 years where you get into a battle, hold down X just so everyone attacks or like do the spell. I was constantly shifting and always doing things. It was always interesting to me. So I loved fighting everything in this battle system.
Now see, 12 had the same idea. You don't have to be in charge of all your guys and micromanage them and tell them what to do with things. But the way they did it, I loved. It was a very cerebral thing. If you can come up with the right strategy for your strategy build for your characters, they would execute it and you would win. This one, I'm like, oh, I just have to flip stupid buttons all the time. I'm like, I could have if you would have given me a gambit system like 12, I wouldn't have to do all this stupid crap. I could just say, do this, right? And it just felt unnecessary.
Yeah, I never set gambits up in 12 because they were confusing to me. I never did it.
How did you even beat that game if you didn't use gambits?
I don't know. I probably just hit attack.
I mean, you could do the thing where you kind of paused it every time, but what a nightmare.
I think I just told people to attack, and what was it like? If health is lower than 30, do this.
Yeah, it's basically a big programming exercise.
Yeah, so I did basic stuff like that, but the thing is once I did that, it was okay, it didn't make the battles any more interesting to me.
You could get some really complex strategy with those things, and you could just totally rock some bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. It was before I was really into strategy, so maybe if I had a different outlook, I would have appreciated it more. But yeah, I played all the way through 12. I thought the ending was really solid.
Yeah, you kill a god, as always. But
yeah, that's what you do. And you become, also, what bugs me about it is the main guy who you're playing as, all he's doing the whole game is whining.
Vaughn?
Yeah, Vaughn. All he's doing is whining that he wants to be an air pirate while being an air pirate the entire game.
Yeah, I guess that during development they shifted because it was supposed to be Balthazar was supposed to be the main character, and then they shifted for some stupid reason.
You're flying around with 2 air pirates doing piratey things for 70 hours.
He wants to do it by himself.
I really wish that I was an air pirate. You are an air pirate.
Yeah.
Also, Fran has one of the best voices of any character ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what else that girl's done, but that voice is amazing.
Yeah. That was really, yeah. Yeah, I would have to put I definitely stopped playing Final Fantasy 13. I won't go into why, but I think people know.
Yeah, no, I mean it's very polarizing with I think most people falling on the side of this game is stupid and it's a hallway and the battle system's no good. I just happen to be on the other side of that argument.
No, I get it. But, different things for different folks.
Sure.
I guess I would throw a quick honorable mention in. I just want to, cast some daggers at Miracle Warriors for the Sega Master System. I used to play this thing because we had a rental store when I was younger that rented Sega games as well as Nintendo games. I mean, most places just Nintendo was it because who had a Sega?
Right. No, you're right. I didn't know the Master System was a thing.
Yeah.
Until I saw a whole bunch of these games in a girl that I went to school with who I ended up dating for a while, but I saw them in her basement. I'm like, what are these? It's oh, this is the Sega Master System. What the hell is that?
Yeah. See, well, I had a friend that had this. He was the Sega kid.
Sure. There's one in every town.
Right. And later, when I got a Genesis, I bought the Power Base converter so I could go play these games. Mm-hmm. But I played Miracle Warriors, and this game is freaking hard and doesn't tell you anything. And you have to try to map this thing out because the game came with a map, but of course when you're renting it,
right,
you don't get any of that stuff in the box. So I'd always get really far, but then of course you always have to take it back. And then what is somebody else going to do to your save game?
Oh, they're going to delete that guy.
Of course they are.
Right away.
And so you go back and you rent it next weekend, like, please, maybe it'll still... No.
No.
And it's not there. And then you're like, well, I've rented it for the weekend, so what do? You try playing it again?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I'd almost been forever on it. Dang it, Miracle Warriors.
Put it on your Retron. You can save the state.
Maybe I could put in some cheat codes just to blast through it real quick, just to say done.
Or you just watch it on Twitch and then say you finished it.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, man, frickin' Miracle Warriors.
I would imagine that there's not a whole lot of Miracle Warriors Twitch broadcasts.
No. You know what I found out, though?
What?
There's a version of Miracle Warriors for the Famicom. Didn't come out over here.
Wow.
Maybe someday. No, I won't.
No. not gonna happen.
Does that wrap it up, Bill?
No, it's okay. I think that just about will do it. It's been a fun journey. Had some good questions. Had some mostly bad games that we stopped playing, and then some good ones.
Yeah, just definitely different reasons. So I'll be curious to hear from our listeners. Let us know what games you just got derailed on, or why you stopped them, good, bad, or otherwise. I'm sure there's probably plenty of bad stories, but maybe tell us about some ones that you halfway liked and why you stopped. But just be sure to chime in and let us know. All right, well, thanks everybody for listening to another episode of the Collectorcast. Bill, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Absolutely.
Or me, I guess I should say. Krabby's not here.
Well, us, I mean, there's other people listening eventually, I guess, so you and me for now, and then us in the future.
There we go. Real quick reminders, right? You can find us all those local places, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, social media, Collectorcast. You know where to find us. Make sure you talk to us. Just to remind people as well, if they're feeling frisky, if they got a few bucks, Bill, what could they do if they had a few dollars laying around they didn't want?
Well, I think you're trying to lead me in one direction. I'm going to go another direction with that. If you had a couple extra bucks and some travel time in October of this year,
well, yeah,
you could send those dollars to the Retro World Expo in exchange for a badge, and then you could come and see us.
You could live.
Yep.
In
live
person.
From New York, Saturday night. So retroworldexpo.com. The expo is Wallingford, Connecticut at the Oakdale Theater, October 3rd. All day. It's a one-day extravaganza. Chris and myself will definitely be there, as well as a handful of prominent RF Gen members like Single Banana. Fleech is going to be there. Isret's going to be there. And hopefully we'll have more. Rusty Man is going to be there. So we'll have more to announce soon, we hope. But that's one thing you could do with all those dollars that you've been earning.
That would be pretty good. We would really like to see you.
Yes. We would like to say hello. And then someone can help me convince Chris to play a tabletop game that doesn't require electricity.
I will tell you what. If somehow Krabby makes it, I will sit down and play. How's that?
Crossing fingers.
How about that? What if you had so much money that you even had more than that?
What if you had leftover money after purchasing the extremely affordable badges for the Retro World Expo? You could just say, hey, Bill and Chris and Krabby, here's a couple of dollars to show my appreciation for you guys sitting up till 4 a.m.
Almost.
Yeah. to make my month all that much better.
Yeah, you could go to collectorcast.com and click on that PayPal donate button, right?
Why don't you just donate? And I'm telling you, it's not like we're just taking that money and like buying games with it or anything.
We don't get that much money.
Yeah, it pays some of the bills, not all of the bills.
Yeah, we just want hosting. That's if we can. Yeah.
You want old episodes? That's what you got to do.
Yeah, which I've been putting a few on there, and I'll be putting a few more up. So that's where your money went last time. This is where it'll go again if you help us out. Keep those old shows up so you can download and listen to them.
Maybe we could release like seasons, like on discs.
Sure.
Just sell the old seasons of the Collectorcast.
Right, yeah. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
Because I know everyone wants discs these days.
Ooh, maybe we can do there's a fantastic musical act called Paul and Storm. They're at they do a lot of festivals. They're at PAX this year, but I met them for the third or fourth time, and I purchased their new album, and it was on a card. I think the company's called Drop Cards. So basically, like, they host like the files, and they mail you like all these physical cards that you can send people, and it just has like a code that you scratch off to go to this site. So we could do some. I mean, it wouldn't be like necessarily a CD, but we could do a cool little download card. Maybe sign them, and everyone would be into it. We'd make $1 billion.
That's what cassette tapes. We're gonna put the Collectorcast on cassette.
Need that Betamax.
But seriously, we would appreciate that. We've got to start building the fund back up for the next renewal that will come up early next year. So I drained the tank dry to pay for the recent subscription. So
give us some money.
Appreciate it. Well, thanks everybody for taking the time to listen. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.
Woo! You got to put the slowed down Power of Love theme right there now.
Oh God!
Here, I'll send it to you. You're in the Skype chat?
Yeah.
Where is it? Here? No, that's not it. Power of Love is a curious thing.
Such a good song. Such a bad game.
Make a one-man weep. That's the song. When my wife and I got married. We walked out of the church, we said our goodbyes, we got into the limo. I had like a mix CD like already ready, and we got in the limo. It was the best song to listen to after you get married.
Alright, so let me listen to this for a minute and see. Wow!
Right?
It is!
Yep.
So they must have just screwed up the programming and sped it up too fast?
I bet the game was too slow and too easy, and they were like, we just have to speed it up because the whole game feels too fast.
Yeah. So they got it right, but they screwed it up.
Yep.
That is so weird. Why would you do that on purpose?
I know, right? And then when it gets to the next part, it's like where is it, like the pre-chorus, or no, the bridge.
Yeah.
Like when it switches, it's got that too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, right?
That's crazy. Someone needs to patch that and fix the game and put the ROM out.
Replace the music with just the regular speed music.
Yeah, just fix the speed of the music, and that would already make the game like 10 times better.
Yep.
That is
then you wouldn't mind just dying over and over again for no reason.
So freaking nuts.
I can't believe that you heard that rumor and then never looked it up.
Why? Oh God! Why would
I need to know this right away.
Why would I want to remind myself of Back to the Future on the NES?
Because it's frustratingly unbeatable.
Just remember, like, because that's
except for like that Krabby video where he just beats it in 8 minutes.
Yeah, right. Because I know when I'm going through town, there's just tons of guys carrying big plate glass windows and everything else all over the place.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the future and I'm going to save my family. Oh, bees!
That's right, yeah. I remember that part in the movie.
What happened? You didn't save your family? Oh, bees.
I remember watching that part where he had to sling drinks at people. Yeah. Yep. Before his family faded away in the picture.
Oh, you know what would be a great question if I was listening to a podcast that asked me for questions?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite licensed music in a video game? I'd probably say like up through like the 16-bit era.
Probably like what? Earthbound had a lot, right?
You know what one like, and it partially is because I just love the song.
What's that?
I love The Goonies Are Good Enough.
Oh yeah.
And just listening to that
yeah.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the game up. It's like
It's a good tune.
Oh, that's great.
It's a good tune. How did Konami get that licensed from Cyndi Lauper to put that in the song?
Yeah, I don't know. It must have been like in the fine print with the movie.
Yeah, because these days nothing like that would happen, right?
No, not at all.
There's just no way.
I'm kind of amazed that like Rock Band ended up getting as much as they did.
Yeah, they haven't put any more word about that, have they? I bet E3, you think?
Yeah, they announced the game, and I went to a panel at PAX East where they talked about it, and they were like, yeah, like we wanted to announce at this show because it's in our backyard and blah blah blah. But they said, yeah, we're gonna say a whole lot more at E3.
I'm ready as long as I can use my same instruments.
Yeah, they promised me that you could.
I'm there. And if I can get my songs that I've already paid for on top of that, which they've said is a lock, right?
Yeah, they've said it's gonna. They said those two things are gonna happen. They said they haven't figured out how they're gonna do the hardware yet, but they're working with Sony and Microsoft, and it is going to happen. And they said as far as licensing, there are just certain deals that just like absolutely, like it's the same thing like Rock Band 1 songs imported to 2. Except for like 3 songs,
like
you know?
a Metallica song and
right, like
stuff.
It was like Metallica, Soundgarden, and I forget. I think it was like it was who does Run to the Hills?
Run to the Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Maiden.
Yeah.
Is it Maiden?
No. I can hear the stupid song. Run to the hills.
Yeah, whoever that is. So like That's a great song.
Dang it, now I got to look that up.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. It is Iron Maiden. Okay.
Yeah, I had a feeling. So I was like, yeah, it's not Judas.
Yeah, no.
It's not... but yeah, so that, like, those
Krabby
three
would be
didn't
mad
transfer.
at me for messing that one up.
Yeah, good thing we're not recording right now.